Easy going for the men from Freetown. I was not at all ready to push the panic button, and certainly with the kind of bowling, I'm talking about lollipops being served up by what's her name, Shanika. They should feel very, very good
driven,
about their chances in.
Not with any real power. But Clive, talking about lollipop, I'm gonna have to pull you up a little later. I was doing commentary with Earl Richards yesterday, and he was sharing with me an experience with you at the crease, and we'll get into that in a little bit as Hector is there. And this time,
great shot.
Baltimore is really in a no-nonsense mode. That one was short, and he just rocked back and pulled that through the wide mid-wicket region there, and 4 more runs. So
I will most definitely allow you to finish that thought, John, because I know that I know that there's nothing good that is going to come out of this. So please hurry up and tell the viewing and listening audience.
So we have now completed over number 7, and so after over number 7, the score moves up to 33 for 2. So Baltimore really getting himself set there and looking like he wants to really pull this scoring rate up fast and in a hurry. But it's going to be Africa who will continue.
How quickly do things change?
Yep.
Hovering just about 5 and over, from 3 to 5 and over on the trot. John, you may continue with your soliloquy.
So I'm coming to you. I'm coming to you, Clive. You take it easy. Take it easy. This one is down the leg side and nicely swept along the carpet. Don't think it'll have the legs to get into the boundary, and so they're gonna try to come back for 3. Baltimore is in a hurry. You could see he really wants to get that strike, and good running there by the batsman, really pushing there for 3 runs, and so excellent running. And I think that's more due to Baltimore really feeling the confidence, feeling real high, and really wanting to take as much strike as possible. I'm seeing Vincent Shadrack in the junior in the slips. I know he normally is an opening bowler. I'm wondering why he is not been given the new ball. Some tactical ploy, I guess. But I'm sure after that over from Hector, there might be thoughts of getting him into the attack. And also remember, police having their guard, their wicket taker, Cleve Cornelius, always seems to get something going when he gets onto the ball.
Very interesting, John, that you should bring up Cornelius. I had a very, very interesting phone call this morning with someone suggesting that Cornelius's action may be very, very suspect. So, whereas you think that Cornelius is the man with the golden arm, there may be some controversy brewing along with this guy Athanaze, and I got that on good authority. The person who called me is a cricket genius, no lesser than the producer of this. Well, the owner, producer. How many titles does Taddy Arundel? How many titles do you think that you hold?
We're going to put it in one basket, and it's called the Ayatollah.
Wow, you're back with your own. Okay.
So we've now completed over number 8, and after 8, 37 for 2. So Freetown really motoring along now. Confidence is there. Good partnership between these two. And
7 overs, John?
8 overs. And there's a change in the bowling. So now it looks like Freetown is the police team, the lawmen. They're going to go to some pace. So they're now going to try to bully the Freetown team. Malik Gerald. Nice little whippy action.
Hovering about 6 runs and over, John. From 3, they did get up to 6 and over pretty quickly.
That's just a little, they're a little under 5. 38 you said, right? Yeah, a little under 5.
Oh,
yeah, 38, a little under 5. Yeah. Here's Malik Gerald, nice and full, and Baltimore by this time now we've seen the ball really good, so he had no. Guess he'll take a couple of deliveries. That's what normally a batsman would do. Crive coming in, a new bowler comes in, he'd want to take a couple of deliveries, see what the bowler is all about.
Correct. Not only that, this is when it becomes a little tricky. Since the ball is keeping low, the ball is going to be a little fast onto the bat. So you've got to really take a look at it.
Oh, there, that one goes through. That beats everything, beating the off stump, beating the edge, beating the keeper, evading the helmet there, and that's a bye signal there. So that was a lot of evasive action there by the ball, beating everything, and bye, adding a single to the score there.
Good delivery. One of the few that has truly beaten the bat. So, I mean, the bowler should feel very, very good about it.
Oh, my error. That's Gerald Phillip. Phillip is on strike at the moment. So he would be best suited to try just turn the strike over, keep, and there he's trying to go for a big pull shot, but not really getting any time in onto it.
I'm trying to understand what this wicket is doing, because the delivery before John went straight through, good pace, and that delivery before this one just barely made it to the batsman. So up and down, never favored wickets like these, unpredictable. And like I said, no rain has come over the last couple of days, so to have a wicket with this inconsistent bounce, I don't know. I guess we've got to just watch and see.
I think Phillip, what I'm seeing here now, Crive, is Phillip is creating a little danger. Now here you have Baltimore, who has been going pretty good. He's seen the ball pretty well, and Phillip is trying to belt the leather off of the ball instead of just angling something into a gap, getting Baltimore on strike. And there he goes again, just getting it wide of the man there, but not in any real control. And 2 runs there. But you don't want to keep Baltimore off of the strike for so long. You want to keep him going, keep that adrenaline going. But Baltimore will take strike because it's the end of over number 9, and the score goes up to 40 for 2 off of 9 overs.
Yes, John, he seems to be in a more mood. Baltimore seems to be a little more consistent in the way that he gets rid of the ball when it's on the bat. So I would say that between the two, that Baltimore is certainly the more accomplished of the two.
Well, Africa, he's rolling a pretty lengthy spell. This is his 5th consecutive over on the trot. This one is hitting the pad, and there is Phillip again, running down. Baltimore was nowhere looking at him, had no interest, and he was bearing down, but he caught himself early enough to be able to get back into his crease.
Really a lovely breeze.
And this one he's caught it slip. You could not believe that, Crive. That was a long hop, as we would say in local parlance, down the leg side. He went to help that on the way, probably got the back of the bat and went back to first slip. And so he goes caught Shadrach Jr., bowled by Africa. A very, I would say, unfortunate dismissal.
That was rather comical. Easy catch, and the men from the police had absolutely no doubt that he got bat onto that. That is always an unfortunate way to be dismissed. Nothing ball is certainly nothing at all. Loose delivery down the leg side. Played a little too early, and that brought about his demise. Now the policemen should feel good about the score line, and they have been able to receive a gift. I mean, I don't think that there would be any bigger gift at Christmas time than what they got a minute ago. But we have Vance Nathaniel.
Yep, another veteran stalwart. Takes his game very, very, very serious.
I would say that Freetown is probably really, really struggling, because Vance Nathaniel has been around since Christ was a corporal, and for him to be playing or having to play, for Freetown to be able to feel a team, it is shocking to me.
Well,
shocking.
Another unfortunate dismissal there for Baltimore. He got run out yesterday also, and now getting caught down from a short ball down the leg side and being caught on the offside in the first slip position. Really, really unfortunate for the young man, but this is the nature of cricket. Glorious uncertainties, and so the lawmen, they must be pretty elated. Baltimore was very aggressive. He was scoring very quickly, and so they're happy to see the back of Baltimore. Is Austin Richards on the scorecard today? Yes. Okay. So maybe this is a ploy, bringing Vance in at this stage in front of Austin Richards. We would have expected to see Austin Richards coming in there, but it's Vance Nathaniel. Well, Africa is justifying this lengthy spell. He was able to get the breakthrough there, and he's looking for some more. But Nathaniel is very solid, very sturdy. Doesn't really give his wicket away. He blocks. He will block. He will block. And
you're being too nice, John.
Oh, that goes right through again, everyone. And the bowler with his hands on his head. Normally that would have been two, but with Nathaniel obviously coming back to the danger end, they would not want it. So bye signal by umpire Simon.
And to add insult to injury, it's the end of the over, which means that Nathaniel will be on strike.
So after 10 overs...
John, you can wake me up. Can you wake me up after this over?
It's 41 for 2. And my colleague here is insinuating that there will be little action happening here. But yesterday, Crive, one of the stuff we were debating about, even when Nathaniel was batting, is while his 41 for 3.
John, you need to wake up.
Why, telling you.
Is coffee being served?
So it's going to be Malik Gerald. He continues from the pavilion end, and he's bowling to Nathaniel. 2 slips in place. That's a terrible delivery down the leg side. Not certain if he got any pad onto that or bat. Let's see. They come back for 2. Let's see the signal by umpire Benjamin. No signals, so he got a little bat onto that. So not a good delivery. Your skipper giving you 2 slips. You should be trying to keep that ball full just outside of the off stump. Trying to.
What were they saying, John, yesterday about Nathaniel?
Yes, we were saying that even if his batting may not be of a very enterprise nature, he was playing within his means. He wasn't trying to do anything too extravagant. If it was short, he was solid behind it. If it was up, he would go for his little drive, and he picks up his little ones and twos. And so he was playing within himself and playing within his scope, and really he occupied the crease for quite a while, which helped his team along the way, even if he did not score a lot of runs.
I hope you're not suggesting that when one stays within the limitation that makes it okay. I don't know that it's ever going to be a luxury having someone like Vance Nathaniel. I mean, he has been effective in the first 5 deliveries that he has faced, but we'll see, John. I mean, it's 5 deliveries. He has scored 4 runs. So, I mean, if you look at those stats, and
well, this supporter is very animated. He's even found his way on the field of play.
Are you certain he's sober? Yeah, he may not be sober.
This early in the day, Clive. Nicely played here by Nathaniel. That was rising a bit, but he got on top of it and steered it down to a wide third man position there. So good batting there by
I have to grudgingly agree. I'm not certain that you can have an engine that moves without diesel or gas. So the spectator may have had to fuel up before he came here. So.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, again, we want to thank you and for joining us on our platforms, our Facebook page, Antigua Parish League, and also on our YouTube channel. And there's a loud appeal. There was batsman flashing outside of the off stump was Jarrell Phillip. He was nowhere in position for that, and a nice edge and nicely taken by the keeper. So the lawmen continually pushing the Freetown men back, taking another wicket, and so the 4th wicket goes down on the score of.
Are you certain, John, that it's not Christmas time? The gifts being given by the men from Freetown. Injudicious again, totally unnecessary, but too far away from the putt. Not a good shot. And I've often wondered about the consistency of the men from Freetown, because that was a nothing ball again, and here it is that the bowler claimed another wicket. But the veteran Austin Richards Jr. makes his way to the crease. Must be in a consolidating mood, because as it stands, they are 40, 48, 49. Huh? I know that you've got some beautiful lips, but I certainly can't read your lips. 46 for 4.
Nicely driven down the ground. The fieldsman come across. He makes a gallant effort, but the ball comes into the boundary. So lovely drive there by Austin Richards, getting 4 runs at the end of the over, and so the score goes up to 50. So the 50 is up for the Freetown men. 50 for 4 after being asked to take first strike here. And let's just remind our viewers, you're here watching us live on the Antigua Parish League Network, and we're coming to you live on our Facebook stream, Antigua Parish League, and also on our YouTube channel, and we're bringing you the finals of the Sir Richard Richardson 35 over competition right here in the beautiful village of Freetown.
And yes, John, we are at the Freetown Village Stadium.
Yes.
You would not be correct.
You have reminded me. It's
yes,
a stadium. Yes.
You would not be correct by saying that it's the Freetown Cricket Stadium, because we do have duality in the sports that is played at this ground. So,
not to continue, Clive, that is something that we were discussing yesterday. You know, this has the potential of probably being a sporting hub for the eastern side of the island.
What kind of discussion you fielded yesterday on that proposition?
Well, we
Was
spoke.
Taddy Arundel a part of that?
No, that was Earl Richardson and myself. After he explained to me how Goldwyn Prince had you well tattooed an afternoon, and they were taunting you, and you could not take the pressure, and Earl was looking for you so much yesterday, but Earl said maybe you got a little glimpse of a little feed of the commentary and didn't want to face up to that moment. But
again, John,
he asked me to remind you to check that rib cage, all those tattoos that Goldwyn Prince put it on you that afternoon.
Correct. But you know what they say, John, a dream only lasts while you sleep. And if I had to give you my account of that encounter, it would be completely different. So I think that.
Taddy, we're gonna have to bring back Crive on one of the program and have Earl on there, because I really want to get to the bottom of this, because I heard it was a tattoo fest.
Was that when I played for Rising Sun?
I can't recall the direct team you played for. I'm not certain if it happened at Factory, but he was very certain that you were being tattooed by Goldwyn Prince. You were being taunted by the close fields men, and it was getting under your skin.
Okay.
You remember now? You remember?
No, John. The only thing that I have to say to you,
hold your thought 1 second.
Okay.
After the 11th over, 12th over, the score is still 50. So this was a maiden over. Okay, so good going there. The new bowler, that was a new bowler there, LaShawn Barnard. So LaShawn Barnard coming in there from the Harmony Hall end and bowling a maiden over. Yes, back over to you, Crive.
Yes,
let's hear you crying now.
When you have fought the kinds of wars that I've fought, maybe I can concede that I'm going to lose. What a shot!
That's majestic. I would not say that was too much of a bad delivery, but that reminded me of Quinton de Kock from South Africa. He just got on one foot and just...
That was dispatched with disdain. I mean, that was an insulting shot. I don't think that any fast bowler would not want to come back with something short. Certainly you're not going to overpitch, having been dispatched to the boundary with that kind of, that was ferocious. On the back foot, on a wicket that is keeping low.
That was with some level of authority, but here he comes again. This one is nice and full, and it's clipped a half appeal, but that ball is racing into the boundary, so not too certain what the appeal is. They're going to pull up. Okay, just pulled up short of the boundary there, and so they come back for 2 runs. So probably an inside edge onto the pad and then rush it out there. Yes, Crive.
58 for 4.
58 for 4.
In this the 13th over.
Yes. So tell us about those tattoos that Goldwyn Prince put on you that afternoon.
Well, I'm not a fan of tattoos. Alright, I'm not a fan of tattoos. And if Prince could look me in my eye and tell me that there was no damage done to him and the ball, then I'm going to be willing to concede. Because one thing that Taddy Arundel will tell you, me not take losses, partner. Alright, so battles have been fought, battles have been lost, and so long as I can consistently say to you that I have won most of them, then I'm very, very comfortable in my skin.
I want to get
Is
back
there
to
anything else, John?
Yes, I'm going to get back to you in a sec.
No problem.
But so far, just focusing on this game, Austin Richards seems to be really middling the ball
in good form,
nicely.
Yes.
The ball is sounding good off of the bat. And, it seems like it's a good battle here between Gerald and Austin here. That one is wide, and that's nicely crunched into the extra cover region. And that will it have the legs to make it to the boundary? No, it does. Stands up just short, and so 2 more runs to Austin Richards Jr.
Contrasting to the last time that I saw Austin Richards play at Erling's, the stadium early.
Yes, yes.
I was very convinced that he had lost it. But here it is today. Looks like the old Austin Richards.
Oh my goodness! Oh no, that is gone. Gone. That was short, and he latched onto that quite quickly, and that went miles. I would believe that would be a 6 on any cricket ground in the world. Cruyff there. That was huge.
I have to agree with you, John. Being a member of the elite club in terms of sixes, I would have to agree with you. That was another ferocious hit by Austin. And I will say to you that if Austin Richards Jr. stays around for the next 5 overs, I think that the policemen may be ready to declare their innings and go just concede. Very good shot.
I must say, he from his arrival at the wicket, he has shown a great intent. He has been middling those.
Are we on TV, John? Because I've got makeup artists willing to take me into a room to make me more handsome.
Well, that's the end of over number 13 there. We'll get to score to you as we start a new over there. LaShawn Barnard and Nathaniel also seemed to be getting into the act here. He's coming down the wicket and launching into a drive, so he's getting really energized by the performance of Austin Richards. So let's see how Austin Richards Jr. now will handle the spin bowler. He was very fluent to the quick bowler there. So we're into over number 14. So it's Barnard, left arm orthodox, coming between the umpire and the stump, and he's going to bowl to Austin Richards. A slip in place. Nicely flighted there by Barnard. Almost had Richards falling over there. Field is spread wide. We have 4 men on the boundary. This one, he's just coming forward. We have a man on the.
I noticed, John, that Austin Richards Jr. faces the medium pacer without a helmet.
Yeah.
I thought that the helmet was a part of your uniform.
Actually, I think there's a new rule where it has been made mandatory to wear your helmet. Well, Richards showing utmost respect to Barnard. So far, I don't think any runs have come off of Barnard bowling. This is what, the 4th delivery?
1 run.
1 run? Okay, so about 10 deliveries bowled thus far by Barnard. This one is short aside the offside, and he's rocking back and cracking it into the offside. Not getting as a timing, maybe that he's looking for on the placement, but a single nonetheless.
All the way down to the sweeper, and there was no doubt that it was going to be a single, because a wheelchair would have moved a whole lot faster if in the place of Nathaniel. So it was going to be a single all day. Is there anything else that you want to come up with, John?
At the end of over number 14, asking to take first strike, the score is 68 for 4.
You seem to want to go down memory lane and
68 for 4. Well, Cruyff, what I'm going to be doing shortly, I'm going to be going on our Facebook page, because I'm sure our listeners also would want to weigh in on some of the tattoo experiences that maybe you would have had, and some of them might have been playing in that game.
Oh,
they can highlight me to what you may not wish to let me know. Because Earl was very confident that you were scared.
Are you going to enter into a referendum that if you lie, you will not be allowed on Facebook again? Because I can think of many instances where a lot of people should be banned from the use of Facebook. So, John, if you want to go down that road, all right, they're going to have to fear. Oh dear.
That is very fortunate, and the wicket taker, oh my, Mr. Cornelius again. First delivery, and if you saw what happened there, Clive, the man on the deep mid-wicket boundary, he fell down.
Yes.
He lost his footing, and he was still able to get up. Luckily for him, the ball was hit straight to him. He didn't have to move either left or right, and so Cornelius once again proving his worth. First ball into the wicket column. Mark, I don't know, is it possible we could get the stats for the season so far? Because I'm sure Cornelius must be really up there in the wickets.
Yes.
Okay. Our producer is checking in it. I don't know if we'll get it before we come off here, but we'll see there.
Well, John, quite unfortunate for Richie that he was able to pick that fieldsman out, because he neither had to move to the right or to the left. It went straight down his throat, and he accepted what turned out to be a very simple catch.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I would also say a bit unfortunate. He was really middling that. Even that delivery, even that ball, he middled it quite well. Didn't get the elevation, and he really hit it probably to the one of the longest point on the field. But you still got to give the bowler and the captain of the police team credit. They had the man stationed in the exact place. Even if he slipped, he was able to recover in time. Who took the catch? Barnard. Okay, so Barnard really having a good impact on the game. He's bowled excellent 2 overs thus far, and now taking a nice catch to dismiss a very aggressive Austin Richards Jr. So, Clive, Freetown in a spot about that.
Score? 68. And I see that the stunningly beautiful scorer has a broad smile when you said that Freetown is in trouble. But I remind you, John, that the 65 is on the books, and whatever is accomplished after this, those runs are on the books, and therefore it will be up to police. If I had to bet, if I was a betting man, John, I'm going to put my money on Freetown. They would think that 65 is enough.
So the new batsman that went in there, let's see if I can, just give me a second, guys. I'm a little bit away, and so you definitely can't see the facial features. Gotta try and find the number on the back of that. Antoine Willock. Okay, yes, they did look pretty encouraging yesterday. Youngster there, Crive, looked very compact, and looks like if he gets the right tutelage, the right guidance, could probably develop into something good along the way. But Cornelius, again, I mean, Crive, we have to give him credit. I mean, the guy is just always in among the wickets. He's always creating opportunities, and that is what any captain would want of a bowler. When he throws the ball to a bowler, create opportunities.
Yes, John, and for the first time I'm looking at his action, very, very suspect. I have to go back to the genius who made it a point to call me this morning, and he was not very happy. In fact, he has said to me that action by Cornelius is under review. So I will say to the lovely scorer that your bowler's action is under review, so this may actually be his last game.
So after 15 overs,
68 for 5.
68 for 5. Yes, I must agree, and let's compliment we have 2 lovely scorers here assisting us, keeping us up to date with the scoring, and of course our technician. We have Auden manning one of our cameras, and also Mark Charles, and the veteran, the Ayatollah Taddy Arundel,
the man who owns the whole
behind
operation.
all of the screens. He's bringing you the different screens.
John, I was told that I was told yesterday that I do not work for the man who owns the operation. I work for Mark Charles. So if there's a request for a raise or anything like that, I would have to go to. Very, very, very interesting.
Clive, let me ask you a question. As a batsman, we know that running between the wicket is very important. It helps to, throw the bowler off, the field side off a bit. How challenging is it as a batsman if you're batting, let's say, with, we know that in terms of Vance Nathaniel, running is not going to be his strong point.
Well, that's the easiest. If you have two people at the crease who are agile and
Antoine going aerial. Does he clear the fieldsman? Yes, he has just enough leg clearing the fieldman. He's running down on Nathaniel, and Nathaniel is not even interested.
And that's what happens. You'd prefer to be batting with ableist people like Nathaniel, as opposed to getting someone with some agility who's always ready to run a single. Because what happens more often than not is that you get into the habit of running quick singles, and you're 10 times more likely to misjudge a single as opposed to running with somebody who is not going to be very, very mobile. So you know that a shot that is supposed to get you 2 runs is going to be 1 all day. So it leaves room to make less mistakes as opposed to having 2 able-bodied persons at the crease.
All right, so we have now completed 16 overs in the pack, and Freetown being asked to take first strike. They are 71 for 5. 71 for 5. So I believe, Clive, the police team would feel vindicated for that decision of inserting Freetown 71 for 5 in 16 overs. Pretty good return for the lawmen so far.
Contradistinctively, I believe that if Freetown, and I'm pretty certain that they will go past 100, should they put 100 on the board, the policemen are going to struggle. John, go ahead, and you can place your bet on police. It would not be the first time that you would have lost a bet. You have not been very, very lucky in recent times, but my money is on the men from Freetown.
What?
I look out there and I see Prince, who is pretty formidable with the bat. There's a brown-skinned policeman who rides a bike. There's a policeman out on the field who rides a bike.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
I'm not too certain.
Doesn't see well. Huh? Nichols, exactly. Who else out there?
What was strange for me when we were out at Liberta on Thursday was Nichols batted pretty. I think he batted at number 4, if I'm not mistaken, and I was really shocked at that decision. Here is Cornelius really keeping it tight. But Clive, I have to disagree with you. I believe anything under 120 is going to be easy picking for the lawmen.
Well, John, you were agreeing with me. I said anything over 100. So how far is 100 from 120? All right, 120. The lawmen will struggle on this ground. Are you in agreement?
No,
bet.
No, I'm not in agreement. I'm saying to you, if Freetown posts anything under 120 runs, it's going to be an easy canter for the police, for the lawmen. Anything over 120, we're in a game.
Well, Shadrach Senior is agreeing with you. I didn't expect anything different. In all colloquial language, root for your party. So, I mean, if Shadrach is saying that 120 is easy pickings, then hey. You should not expect anything less.
So Cruyff, after 17 overs, we're just about 71 for 5. 71 for 5. And we let's just talk a little of the police team here, Cruyff. We got to give them a little credit. Their regular captain, Marilyn, he is not there with them. He wasn't here also on Thursday when they played. He wasn't here yesterday. And so, not yesterday. Well, yesterday he wasn't there also with them. And so it's good that they're still able to really motivate themselves, get themselves together, and still be able to reach the finals without their captain, who is a very important clog in their wheel, especially in terms of their batting going along the way.
John, look, in other places, the police force in Antigua, all right, is an aberration to what makes sense. The police force has an opportunity to go out there and recruit persons who are interested in sports generally. That's the first thing. Secondly, all right, if they created more incentives by paying the people them something that they can live on, okay, it would have incentivized going into the police force, because you know that when you go away police, you're going to make a little bit of money, all right? So there hasn't been any active recruiting mechanism within the police department, and that is not dissimilar to what happens generally in our cricket in Antigua. But for me, if the police department wants to recruit young people who are attracted to sports, whether it be in football or cricket, it should not be difficult if the remuneration process made any sense. All right? So I am not going to buy it, because the police, and I'm getting dissent from Cedric, because it seems like every time that you address or you attempt to address the policeman, they are not to do. They are not to do. So they can go and dedicate a lot of time to sports. So I'm not going to sympathize with you, John. That is what you're looking for. You're looking for sympathy. It's not going to come from me. All right?
To the contrary, my brother, I'm not looking for any sympathy, but I think we have to give credit to the police team without their standing captain and still being able to perform at the highest level. It speaks to their unity, their camaraderie, their connectivity, and so the standing captain in Africa, he has to get some credit, still being able to rally the troops to bring them this far.
All right, John, I'm going to stand on. Right?
Thank you, sir. Well, we're going to continue now into the second half of this innings. LaShawn Barnard continues between the umpire and the stump, left arm around, and he has been really, really tight. I think he's bowled 2 overs for 1 run. Scorers, LaShawn Barnard, 2 overs for 1 run.
All right, so let us enter.
3.
So this is 4th? So 3 overs, 5 runs. And this one is clubbed it goes over the head of the fieldsman there. I don't know. He's in no man's land. He's neither in nor out. And so that was 4 runs there. Antoine going down, Willock going down on his knees there and just hiking that. And the fieldsman would have felt he should have been in a better position, and it would have been a relatively easy catch.
All right, John, so let us look at the mathematical equation. They're halfway through the innings. It's a 35-over game. This being the 18th over. Let's say Freetown, they're not in a bad position. They've lost half of the wickets. And if the Freetown men are able to, let's say, score at 5 runs and over, and that is being very, very generous. 5 runs and over, 5 sevens at 35, 5 1, that's another 80 runs. Game over, what do you think, John?
Well, I really can't see. I know cricket is a game of close uncertainty. I can't see the latter 5 will equal what the top 5 would have put on. So I don't see them batting out the 35 overs. But as we know, cricket is a game of glorious uncertainties, and so we'll just have to watch and see. I think you're having some wishful thinking, as you said, Five. You're you're probably having some dream, and your dreams will have to come to an end shortly, sir.
John, you lack commitment. That is, you have to be committed to the process, all right?
Well, my brother, you keep dreaming. I ain't in that dreaming session. But it's going to be a Barnard, so let's see what's happening here as Willock finally been able to hit Barnard for his first boundary. So Barnard has been very tight. But I like to see the young guy Willock. He looks like a good prospect, something with some good work. Something can become of him. And this one, he's having a wild swing there outside of the off stump.
Well, the rehearsing of the shot, John, falls right in line with your ability to deny the obvious. He played the correct shot on the rehearsing. Terrible shot first time around because he was playing across the line. But John, you never played cricket, did you?
I was playing a little game today, no, that's why I was a little late today.
Oh, they have those on the TV.
I got one ball.
Oh dear.
Oh my. But it's a good over by Barnard thus far. I'm going to get back to you, Clive, because I need to know what Goldwyn Prince did for you. This one is slashed, but off of the edge, and good catch. So poor shot there, a nothing ball again, and looking to hit it and just maybe not going to the ball, probably pulling away a bit from it and getting a thick outside edge and a nice comfortable catch in the end there for the fieldsman there. So Clive, the wickets keep tumbling for the Freetown men.
Very consistent. Losing of wickets, cannot get to that invisible target, John, of 160. Making it very, very tough for them to get to that mark. But I don't see any devil in the wicket. I mean, it's an easy playing wicket, and the last couple of overs it has been playing better. The bounce has been more consistent. And if I said wicket, I would be corrected immediately by the owner to suggest that it's the pitch.
Yes.
Now, we were never accustomed to being able to differentiate between wicket and pitch. But nowadays it seems to be very, very important that you identify the turf, the wicket, the pitch as the pitch and not the wicket.
But Clive, you would be aware that over. Okay, so we have Clive. Let me just bring in some of our viewers on our Facebook page. Kish Joseph. Well, this was a little earlier. He was something he said he was unlucky. Let's go Freetown. Big shot. I believe that was for the shot that Austin Richards would have played there. The new batsman at the wicket is Kelvin Myers, but he's on the non-striker end. Hansel Phillip, good to have you. You were here with us yesterday. He said, go Richie. Well, Richie is gone. He's gone now, Hansel. And Les Roy Jew, let's go Freetown. And he's saying, beat the lawmen. Hey, good afternoon, Lillian. How are you, sweetheart? Lillian there in Dominica watching our broadcast. Good to have you on board, Lillian. And Akish Joseph is saying, let's go, bro. So we always want to keep in... And there is Vance Nathaniel coming down the wicket and trying to probably go over the top, but he went a eighth of the way. But Clive, in your time, who were some of the bowlers that you really had some challenge with? Who really...
That I feared? You don't have to be nice. The people that I feared?
Yes.
Remember that Andy Roberts was in his prime when I played?
Yes.
Don't forget that.
Yes.
You had Hugo. I had Jeff Abbott, who I always had something against because Jeff had no friends. even in practice, right? Problem. Just like he would bowl in a game, problems. And I was the youngest person in the Rising Sun cricket team, and you would have thought that they would be saying, well, let me take care of this youngster. But again, the Ayatollah, right? In full view of everybody, supported the peppering every day, day in, day out. John, I went home with not being able to walk, and I would still get licks from my mother coming home with bumps on my skin from Jeff Abbott wheeling the ball deliberately into my hip, right? And then I would be expected to play on Saturday and give it my best. So my days playing at Rising Sun was the most torturous period in my life. And you should ask me if I would do it again. No. That's all. No. Okay?
Les Roy, Drew, let's go nephew. Need a half century from you. Les Roy, it's good to let us know who is your nephew there. We have Nathaniel and Myers batting. Oh, Myers is okay. So, and he has promised Myers he's going to get $5 for every run you make. So Myers, well, they could change out there for you. So how much Myers have now? Let's count how much runs Myers getting. How many money he have in the bank so far? 0. Oh my! So Myers, you have to start that account.
Activate the account.
You have to activate the account.
Yeah, John, but they were very, very good fast bowlers when I played.
And here's an opportunity, and that's the power of Nathaniel going over the field head there and getting a single there. So Nathaniel playing a little bit out of character, going aerial and just evading the hands and the jump there. Is that Neville out there?
Nichols.
Neville Nichols. So
I think that you've missed your calling, John. You belong someplace in Hollywood.
Well,
I don't know that there's anyone else out there who would not have taken an easy catch. And I see Shadrach shaking his head. So
yeah,
which tells you that a grey-headed Shadrach would have been able to do a whole lot better. But again, you missed your calling. You should have been someplace in Hollywood. I don't know about that big heist that you've explained to the viewing audience took place because Nathaniel just lazily struck it out there someplace short long off.
Well, Margaret Rose, we label her as Freetown #1 supporter. She says, let's go, Kelvin. Win this for your mom, the best scorer. All right. And Sweetness James is saying, I'm putting £10 in. So, Kelvin Myers, you're really special. There's a lot of money being thrown at you here, my brother. Make some runs. And Sweetness James say, number 69 checking in. Good to have you. And Les Roy Drew, need to come from New York to help my Freetown team. Well, Les Roy, come on down. We have one more competition to go. We still have the Dave Joseph competition at the back end. So come on down, Les Roy, and put in your hand and help your Freetown stalwart. Maybe Cruyff might come out of retirement.
Yeah.
So at the end of over number 20, Freetown being asked to take first strike. They are 78 for 6.
Yes, John. Like I was saying, when I played, there were some very, very good fast bowlers. The problem that we had when I was younger, you had too many good persons playing at the same time. I remind you that Malcolm Atto, and Malcolm Atto was great. Never made it to the West Indies team because at the time, like I said, we had too many good people coming through at the same time. Just like in the fast bowling, you had Ralph Gonzalez. You had Andy playing at the same. Well, our own producer here, Stiffman Mark.
How was Mark bowling? Because Taddy doesn't seem to be very impressed with Mark.
Changman, some just they all the time, all the time.
Does it in a steady,
same place there, just they all the time, all right? And you see him smiling ever so often now. It wasn't a lot of smile. It was war. And then again, John, you never played, so you definitely wouldn't understand.
Well, that's why I have you here, man, to bring that side out. But I'm going to get, and here is, he has $5 there. 10, okay, that's the second round. So we're doing two scoring here, viewers. We're scoring Kyle Mayer's, we're adding Kyle Mayer's money. 10 easy and £10. So that's Kelvin Myers. Sorry, I'm saying Kyle Myers. It's Kelvin Myers there. So Kelvin, you're going to build a bank account quite quickly here if you could score a few runs. But Clive, the question I asked you.
So you're suggesting I never answer the question?
Which bowler you feared when you went down there to bat?
I never feared anybody, partner. Everybody was treated the same. Alright? And let me say this to you, because there are a lot of your viewers and a lot of your listeners who may be thinking that I was good. Alright? I was never good. Michael was good. My brother was good. Alright? But one thing I can tell you, people were afraid when I went to the wicket, right? Because
afraid of what, Clive? Afraid of what?
Because I would hit the ball for a mile.
Yeah?
For a mile. So when the ball came off the bat, in many, many instances, you were actually wondering if you should bowl again. So I made, with every shot that I played, I made a statement, but I wasn't good. All right? So let me put the discussion, because you had all kinds of discussions surfacing whether Michael was better. Michael was by far the better cricketer. But was he as feared as I? No. So definitely better.
So you instilled fear in bowlers?
Yes. I'm not going to advertise my exploits against LD in Baptist coming off some big test tour where he had his shoulders up in his neck and all that foolishness. And I scored 100. Probably one of the most memorable innings played at the Antigua Recreation Ground. 123 and 99.
Hold on a second. Taddy, you remember the innings, Taddy can't remember that. So
no. Well, I mean, his age would suggest that you.
And here is Kelvin Myers giving. He gets another 5. Nathaniel is not interested in that, in an overthrow. So he goes to 3 runs. And so $15 in the bag, plus that £10. Is it £10? Let's Roy, you're gonna have to clarify. Is that £10 a run, or just £10 you're adding to the total?
It's US, so let's Roy.
Okay, we're getting some clarity here. So it's Akash is saying it's US currency. So he's getting 10 US and 10. So that £10 is supposed to be 10 US. Hey, whatever it is, you're getting money. So just score runs.
So well, John,
let me just give a score update. So at the end of over number 22. 82 for 6. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for joining us on the Antigua Parish League Network, on our Facebook page and our YouTube page, Antigua Parish League, and you're watching live coverage of the Sir Richard Richardson 35 over finals right here at the Freetown Sports Stadium. Hope I have that name right.
Yes.
In a very lovely day for cricket, beautiful sunshine, a nice breeze blowing across, and I know we're speaking about so many things, but we're really hoping hope we were saying yesterday, we're hoping there's a real master plan for a real development of a sporting center in this area. We see the cricket, the football field behind of us. We assume this might be basketball and netball, tennis, volleyball. We don't know, all the sports are being played. But we look at this area with a possibility of being developed into a sporting mecca for the eastern side of the island.
The good thing is, John, that you've drawn my attention. I mean, I'm here every day, 4 days a week, and I've never looked beyond the play field. So thanks for bringing that to my attention. You would imagine that this has been here for years. So your optimism, of course, is welcome, but I don't see, unless there's an intervention by God, that this is going to ever become anything other than what it is. There is a fight now from the men from Freetown. I don't know why, but since we started football up here, we have been trying to have meaningful dialogue to form an alliance, a partnership with them, and you would not believe that with the 40-odd kids that we've got in the academy, that they don't want to have anything to do with the academy. So I don't know. I don't know, John, but we'll see. Hope springs eternal. You're an eternal optimist, and with that kind of optimism, I guess we'll soon be eating turkey for breakfast.
Well, it's a bit sad to hear those comments, Crive, because when we look around here, we are seeing opportunity abounding.
Yes.
And even yesterday in our discussion, we were saying, the community has to take some level of responsibility. A lot of times we sit down and we wait on this one or two individual to do everything or to get everything going, and we need the community to galvanize themselves together, recognize this is an opportunity that awaits. I mean, as I said, we talk about Bethesda could come over here, play some games, St. Philip, Piers, all these little community on this side, Willie Keys, and this could be a hub because you do have the potential of really creating a sporting mecca in this. And so we would hope that cooler heads would prevail, more reasonable thought process could be employed, and we could see a real development. We look at this this facility here. Yes, it looks nice. Is there a maintenance plan in place? Is there a management system in place? These are the questions.
Well, in order, John, to have a maintenance plan, you must have a finishing plan. Is it ever going to be finished? Once you start to look for directions, and which is often the case from politicians, there's absolutely no vision that is going to be put in place. So again, John, I'm going to be around for the long haul, and hopefully we can have a meaningful dialogue that will...
Yeah, but Clive, I mean, I don't want to stray away from our game, but this is a challenge, and I'm speaking personally here. I have this challenge where we always sit down and we want to wait for politicians.
Yes.
We are a community. A community has to rally. When it comes to sport, there is no blue, there's no red, there's no orange. It's a community. And we rally for one cause, is for the development of our youngsters in the area. I remember, that's a chance there, just eluding the outstretched hand there of Shadrach Jr., coming off of the edge of Nathaniel there. I can't remember the gentleman, but he said one of the challenges in the country is that most of the sporting facilities are in the city of St. John's. So in the rural communities, there's no real sporting facilities. So the youngsters, they go drift, because there's nothing there for them to do. And I'm just saying, we need to rally as people within a community. Yes, if the politicians can open a door here for us or a door there, yeah, we appreciate any opportunity that they could open. But we should never be totally reliant on any politician or any one individual for the advancement of our community.
Well, John, you probably need to have that discussion with Margaret Rose downstairs, who's dressed out in party colors. But in all seriousness, Antiguans drank a poison from politicians, and I'm hoping that your viewers and your listeners, they're not thinking that I meant that literally. But because there's an utter dependence on politicians to create a vision, and politicians are not sensible enough to think beyond one election cycle. So you need more than one election cycle to be able to develop a program. And that's where the debt of the Sports and Games Department, where the Ayatollah was a part of. The debt of the Sports and Games Department signaled the debt of sports in Antigua. Because outside of that, you look at where sports in the different communities have fallen. They, in terms of priority, they're not first, they're not second, they're not third, they're not fourth, they're not fifth. So how do you expect to continue any kind of legacy or to set a platform for any kind of development?
We'll get back to that in a while, Clive. So, new over being commenced by Cleve Cornelius. So far, these two batsmen have kept him at bay. I think he had his hopes up that he would have already gone through the batting, but Nathaniel is being solid as a rock, as you would say in local parlance, batting with a plywood. Can't beat that. And Myers, he has some inspiration, as some dollars are waiting on him as he accumulates his runs out there. But Cornelius, as I said, he's trying to get that breakthrough for his team. They would want to come off of the field as quickly as possible and save those legs for their batting exploit. But it's Cornelius demise and just coming off of the outer part of the bat and bouncing there to the man at slip, who effects a little save. But so he's driving down the ground onto the onside, and so an easy single there for Myers.
A lull in the proceedings. What's the score?
91 for 6.
Huh?
91 for 6.
91 for 6. I still say 160 is a possibility, John.
160.
Yes.
Crive, you have been.
Are you allowed to disagree? Being a scorer, and I'm seeing to my left, there's a scorer for the police and a scorer for Freetown. Every time that I say anything that is not complimentary to the policeman, I get this stare. Do I have to be afraid that I will be arrested? I don't understand it.
And look, there's another policeman watching you now.
So we are so
at the end of over number 25, 91 for
10
7.
more overs. 10 more overs, John.
7.
And 60.
91 for 6. 91 for 6. And what scorer can you give us a partnership? What's the partnership between these two batsmen here? 16. So, Clive, it may seem small, saying 16 runs, but when you look at the context of the game, it's a very good partnership there.
It may seem or it may sound inconsequential, but 16 at this stage of the game, having 10 more overs to go. I still have my bet on the men from Freetown, John.
Well, Clive, honestly, between you and I, doesn't matter what it is, your bet is going to be on Freetown. It would never waver. It will never change. So
all right. That's a fair point.
All right.
That's a fair point.
So Africa, he's back. I'm not. Has Barnard completed his allotment of overs?
Yes.
Wow. Can you give us his scoring, his bowling stats there, please?
7 overs, 17 runs, 1 wicket.
So Barnard completed his spell, 7 overs, 17 runs, and he took 1 wicket. And here is Myers continuing to add to his tally here.
must say, John, that even if the prospect exists that I may be arrested at the end of the game, the two scorers, one doing the job electronically via, and this laptop seems to fit her posture. I think he actually does a wonderful job. And for that reason, I will say to Taddy that the next outing, and this lady is in the scoring booth, I will be present.
All right, so there you have it. So 26 overs
Yeah, 92 for 6.
in the bag, 92 for 6. So another 9 overs or so to go. The Freetown the Freetown team, they would want to bat out those nine overs, accumulate as much as they can, and really keep the police in the field, and that could have an effect on their whole batting performance the longer they stay in the outfield there. So Clive, the batsmen for Freetown, it's two objectives. One, I think they want to bat out these overs, and two, you capitalize as much as you can to have a healthy score.
We seem not to be able to agree on anything, John, because I would want to remove at least one of these to allow the proceedings to be a little more attractive. If you're saying to me that there's a prospect of these two batsmen at the crease batting out the next 9 overs, I'm saying that I'll be asleep, so please wake me up at the end of the proceedings. But certainly not, John. That is not the way that this format of the game is to be played. I'm gonna wager that if between these two 10 runs is scored in the next 10 overs, that Freetown will easily win this game.
Oh boy.
You're certainly not a betting man, John.
Right, you keep speaking about dreams, and I'm just hearing a lot of dreams coming out of you. Anyway, let's get back to our So we also have Inez Richards is saying, thank you for the commentary. I appreciate the broadcasting. Well, we want to thank you, Inez. Nice to have you on board. As Roy Drew is saying, it's $5 and it goes up to 10 after 50. So you understand this, Clive?
Yeah,
he's going to get $5 for every run.
Go ahead and close the account.
If he if he scores 50, Clive,
done.
Everything after that is going to be $10.
But I'm saying to you, all right, it would be easier for a baby to start running, all right, at birth.
One is just a little bit wide and bunks in just before it reached the keeper, who wasn't able to corral that in. So that looks like another bye added to the score. Let me just go through these comments. Shakira Myers, she's saying they have a maintenance plan. Okay. Derek Maryland, he's saying he's watching. Good to have you on board, Derek. I understand you're in St. Lucia. So we have Derek Maryland, the captain of the police team. He's in St. Lucia. This one is driven onto the onside, no run. And also, who do we have here now? Margaret Rose says, captain for life, let's go. Shakira says, not everything needs to be political. I think we all agree. And Derek Maryland is saying world boss, 1 from 17. Okay, I think he's talking about LaShawn Barnard. And Derek Maryland is saying Maz there. All right, so again, we want to thank our viewers. Keep putting in your comments and let us know what you think about this game, where you think it's going, who you are wagering on, and let's see how it goes. So over number 27 is in the bag, and after 27 it's 93. So Clive, if it's one thing you've had correctly, is we're just really crawling along here in terms of the scoring rate. But I believe, honestly, for Freetown, it's not too negative because they're able to keep the police team in that hot sun for a little lengthy time, and that could wear them down also in their batting prospects.
And I remind you, John, that the 93 runs is on the books, and it simply means that if there was a termination of the innings, now the lawmen would have to score 94 to win. I'm still saying to you that with 8 overs to go, the men from Freetown should be able to get at least 130.
Well, Malik Gerald is back. I think the police team recognize they need to break this partnership. They need to close up this inning. So Malik, he started from the pavilion end, but he's now been changed, and he's now bowling from the Harmony Hall end. And so he is coming into Kelvin Myers. Myers here, there's a lot on his shoulders as his account is growing slowly but surely.
All right, John, I'm gonna give your viewing and listening audience a task. Now, you're saying that they need to break the partnership. Why would they need to break a part that is going absolutely no place? This is slow mo. This is extra slow motion. Why would they need to and bring a batsman in who can probably hit the ball? This is going absolutely no place in Laurie.
That one is steered into a gap there, and Myers is really pushing hard to get to, putting the pressure on Nathaniel, and Nathaniel has to jog down to the non-striker end.
If I was the opposition, if I was a fielding team, I would be satisfied. I mean, it is a little hot out there, but I would be satisfied with just keeping things just the way they are.
So I guess from your comments, you're suggesting there's more firepower to come behind in the Freetown team?
Well, I mean, if you're suggesting that is all that is left in the tank, John.
Sloppy fielding there by the keeper, letting that one go through. Who's the keeper?
100.
Damon Valentine, yeah, he's the regular keeper. And so that went straight through him. And umpire.
It's 99 for 6, John. 99 for 6. Still a lot of time, still a lot of overs.
Well, it's good to get over the 100 mark, as they say. That's a psychological barrier. So once you hear 100, then it changes your mindset. This one is just a little wide, not just a little wide, but according to the umpire, very wide. And so the umpire signals wide there. You could see a little frustration in the bowler. He's not been able to penetrate to get any opportunities there, and so you could see a sense of frustration in his body language.
The man behind the stump is a cop, right? The umpire. I hope that the bowler is not a subordinate, because if I was even the rank of corporal, to see the look on the bowler's face, I mean, he would have had to come into my office forthwith. I wouldn't even wait until tomorrow after the working day. I would find an office space downstairs to issue my reprimand. I don't know what he was arguing about. The ball was clearly wide of the stumps.
This one is
a little bit of urgency shown there by Nathaniel, who is not capable of running a quick single.
So the end of over number 28. At the end of 28, the score is 101. So the 100 is up for the Freetown team. So that's one milestone accomplished. 28 overs. We have 7 overs in the bag. If they could get another 5 runs in over, as you would have said earlier, that would be 35, 135. That could present a little challenge.
No, that would be more than enough. More than enough.
I am seeing Shadrach Jr. is giving me a signal, and in local parlance, that signal means that you need to go and see the
Right.
psych.
That no, it's rubbish. But you notice that when I said it,
Shadrach Senior. Oh boy.
you notice that when I said it, I was looking straight at the pitch because I couldn't look to my right and I couldn't look to my left because anything that is said against the policemen and the ladies very, very close. So this is one of the times, John, that I can't wait for the inning to be over so I can get some refreshment because I am being,
So we have a new bowler from the pavilion in Jaron Jones. As he comes in over, and Myers is coming down on that. That was nice and full. Just catching it low there. Going for the Yorker, it looked like there, but Myers has been batting for a while, so I guess he's seen the ball pretty good. His confidence is a little bit higher than when he would have walked in. Has a slightly open stance there. Nathaniel backing up good there. So making that single easy. So Myers moves on by 1. What's Myers' score? Let's see how much money he has. Let's calculate his money. 18. Wow. So that's 90 US dollars in the bag. Wow. That's a good payday. As Jones comes over to Nathaniel, and Nathaniel is advancing down the wicket to the medium pacer. So Nathaniel showing no fear.
good shot off the legs of Nathaniel. Picks up 2 easy runs, over pitched on the leg side.
We want to say good afternoon to Mamam Herbert. He said he's watching from St. Croix in the USVI. Good to have you, and he's also rooting for Freetown. So we have a lot of Freetonians. That's correct. That's how we say it, Freetonians.
Let me do some research on that, John, because very often they will tell you that that is not.
More runs here for the Freetown team, so things picking up just a little bit for the guys from Freetown. And I see Myers now is asking for some liquid refreshment. Been out there for quite a while. Interesting to know what partnership is there.
Let me give you a little bit of history, John. If you say Freetonians, you're forgetting the tone. So you have to be very, very careful. So let me do some research on that. That if you refer to people from Freetown as Freetonians, right, then you're forgetting the tone in Freetown. So I don't know.
Well, I'll leave that up to you, Crive.
I will get back in touch with you. You have any Freetonians? Freetonians.
Freetonians.
And that is very, very awkward.
Okay. So
I still don't take your word for it because you're too young to know the history. I'm sorry. Okay. John, I'm good at
we just want to pick up our scorers here. We have 2 lovely young ladies, one from the Freetown community, one with the police team, and so Oh, the scorer for Freetown is Kelvin's sister. So that's where the affinity is from. All right, but it's going to be Gerald continuing from the Harmony Hall end, and he's just tapping that to the man at a short.
Can't get out of this boy, John.
Position here.
We're surrounded. I might as well surrender.
We have them surrounded. So these 2 batsmen, they have sort of put the lawmen on a little retreat. They had 2 slips at one time, and now they have taken away one of the slip, and he's now into a short third man there, and good batting there by the youngster. The ball kept low, but he kept his eye on the delivery and was able to just pat it down into the offside.
I mean, these games, John, are often filled with excitement. There's been a lull in the proceedings for the for the past 50 minutes. I'm tempted to go to sleep, but of course, there's such a wonderful breeze blowing across the ground that you cannot resist just looking at the proceedings and enjoying what.
And you could see also the bowler is also feeling the effects. He has shortened his run quite considerably, and Myers is trying to come for 2, but obviously that will be too much for Nathaniel.
He got 2 runs, trying to come back for the third.
For the third. That'll be too much for Nathaniel there. So 2 more runs. So, boy, you can. I guess. I don't know where Myers works, but he can call in sick tomorrow. He don't make his payday.
Wow.
The scorer looks at me cross.
That's what I'm saying. You're surrounded.
Good batting there by the youngster there. Really.
How many overs, John? 32. Is this the 32nd?
I think this is going to be the 29th. 30th bowling. Okay, 30th. So 5 more after this. So
5 brings you 50.
This one is driven again nicely on the onside, and again another single. So it's really working together now for the Freetown team. They're really picking up the singles, the 2s there. Not much boundaries, but they're keeping the strike turning over. And so after over number 30, the score is
109 for 6.
109 for 6. And this partnership is worth how much?
34.
34. So
wow.
34 good runs for the Freetown team. I think at that time when the 6-wicket fall, police probably thought that they would have been off the field maybe in another 10-15 minutes. But these 2 have really stood tall and provided a good partnership and have given the innings a level of impetus, and hopefully they would want to see if they could bat out those next 5 overs and probably get another 30-40 runs also.
So John, 5 brings 50. Insurmountable task for the policeman, you would think?
Well, we will have to wait and see. Time will tell. I still believe that the police will not go down, the lawmen will not go down without a fight.
That takes away the excitement. You're saying to wait and see. You're not into, well, the wind predictor says that the men from Freetown is in the ascendancy and will therefore win this game.
Oh, that was beautifully bowled, and it's a loud appeal, and he is walking, so he's out. Caught behind. Bowl him.
Caught behind, bowl.
Bowled.
And you need to adjust your glasses.
No, I'm not seeing. Wow.
The bails were actually dislodged.
Wow, so he just clipped the outer ball there, and the producer is assuming it's an arm ball here. He's saying it's an arm ball that he got it, but a good innings nonetheless by Kelvin Myers, and I'm sure his teammates will be proud of his contribution, and I know the viewers who would have made some contribution to him would be really happy to see that he really stood there and stood up for his team for that length of time.
Well, John, I'm still very much on target in terms of the scoreline. 5 overs, 50 runs would put them right at about the 150 run mark.
Well, Clive, in that dream, if you could also tell us where those 50 runs will come from, we will be happy to have a vision on that dream.
I don't think that we're allowed to pick sides on the broadcast. I told you straight up that I would wager that police will win by at least 30 runs. If you have anything other than that to say, go ahead and deposit your dream. You actually have a dream that this game is going to be a no contest when the policemen take the crease. Go ahead and wager, John. You feel lucky today?
Derek Morland saying, bring back Puddin'. And he says, Puddin' strike, and Puddin', as you know, a.k.a. that's Cleve Cornelius. So, again, Clive, we can go on and on and on. It is a fact once Cornelius gets that ball, something generally happens. And he has done it again, and he has proven it over and over. So kudos. Maman Herbert is saying, with Saminato over 40 years of experience, I think that Freetown will bring it home. So he's backing Nathaniel to stay there and put on the runs and bring it home for Freetown. But here's Cornelius, and he's got another wicket. So the new batsman there, Wayne Williams, having a heave across the line, and his timber was disturbed, and so cry for another wicket goes, and another wicket for the man with the golden arm,
Oh, yeah.
Cleve Cornelius.
You too?
Oh, yes, yes. We're all supporters of the
Well, Cruyff is in a state of shock, ladies and gentlemen. So while he recuperates and finds himself, I will let you know that the police team, they won the toss and they decided to have a field first, and so Freetown got their first strike, and so after 30 point overs, 109 for 8.
And they're all smiles with the ladies of the policemen. Yeah. Like I said, we are all surrounded. Might as well go ahead and surrender. Very, very disappointing performance on a relatively friendly wicket. Most of the dismissals are not even orthodox dismissals. Nothing shots, giving away of wickets and things like that. But I still think that the Freetown men may be lucky. They may just have enough to win this contest and claim another trophy, adding to the one that they collected probably about a month ago.
So the new batsman is Kareem Richards. Whoa, that was dangerously close, going right back and just getting on the bat in time.
Now, John, because I have played extensively, I can tell you just by the posture of the batsman that he can score runs. All right, so we may see some fireworks.
Well, I was just gonna say it's surprising to see Kareem batting that low. I have seen a bit of him in the past, and I know he can hold a bat. He understands a little basic of batting, so it's quite surprising to me to see him batting so low.
But that may be a very, very tactical move. Usually, in this kind of cricket, nobody worries about having bowlers in the depth and stuff like that. So it may be a strategic move by the men from Freetown to have. That's why I was saying, John, that it's a very, very safe bet that the men from Freetown will put up at least 50 runs. They have got 4 more overs. Good drive by Nathaniel, stopped by the bowler.
Well, we have to give Nathaniel some credit. He has been out there for quite a while, and while he may not be setting the scoreboard alight, but at least he has kept one end secured, and whether we like it or not, that's the beauty of cricket. There has to be a partnership, and it needs 2 persons to stay there, and he has really stayed there, really defying the lawman's approach. And went for a real crazy shot there, just swinging right across the line. The keeper now goes for the helmet. Okay, just a little safety precaution. Thought he was going to keep up there a while ago. And
keeping a little low.
Yeah, if you notice the last couple of deliveries, they're not even coming through to the bowler, to the keeper. And as a fieldsman there, and you see that, how does that impact your mindset, knowing that you have to go and bat on this wicket now?
Maybe not a good place to be psychologically, but again, I don't see any devil in the wicket, and that one made its way over the boundary ropes.
So that's a good shot there by Nathaniel. The field is in, and he went aerial over the wide lawn head there, and he got it, and it beat the fieldsman running back there into the boundary. That looks like LaShawn Barnard there, and so 4 well-needed runs for the Freetown team.
Showing a little bit of aggression. Definitely coming out of that defensive posture, that defensive mode. Showing some sign of urgency with 3 overs left. Yes. I still say well within reach of 150. 2 more runs
again. So you could see Nathaniel also, he's looking to change gears. He's getting a little more positive here, not looking to block. And he's really rattling the youngster in Gerald's. But that's the end of over number 32. And so at the end of over number 32, 115 for 8, 115 for 8. And so 35
more runs, John, from 3. Highly improbable, but certainly not impossible. And I'm going to put my bet on the youngster who is going to face the very, very juicy Africa. So you can expect some juicy long hops bowling into the wind.
Well, the skipper, standing skipper in the absence of Marilyn, he is now going to come back from the pavilion end.
Again, John, the wind predictor says that 150 is on the cards with 3 sixes in this over. Lady police officer shakes her head in denial that 3 sixes will come from this over. What is your bet, John? This is one.
That's high in the air,
come on.
going nowhere, but the fieldswoman, at one point she was looking around to see who was going to get it, and then eventually she realized, hey, it's me alone, and so she went and she cupped that out of the sky. And so a disappointing end to Kareem Richards. Sort of expected a little more of him. He was trying, I guess he had to go, but didn't get to the pitch of the delivery, and was only successful in offering an easy catch to Shanisha Hector. So another wicket goes, 115 for 9.
You know what happens nowadays, John? I see people wearing 2 thigh pads. I was not fortunate enough to be able to wear one. Is all that style and what is it? Well, they say that inside edges can, find its way to, a not too very, very comfortable part of your body. But when I was playing, I had to bat without thigh pads and so. And I still can walk without a cane. What do you say about that, John? Not that you ever played, and I don't expect you to know how it hurts when you were hit on your thigh.
I'll tell you one of my scariest moments on a cricket field. And actually, I was not on the field when it happened, but the gentleman that was batting in front of me, he got a ball that came off of this edge, and it dislodged 2 of his teeth, and I was the next batsman to go in.
Oh dear.
So I went in very reluctantly. But yeah, definitely. I think, as you said, in the early days, we didn't have them. They weren't around. We didn't know of them, and we had to go out and play with what we had. And so, as you said, no, these guys are spoiled. They have everything to protect. They have an armor. They go to the whole body armor, and so that sometimes maybe even affects their mobility. Well, the last man is in, and that looks like Wesley Williams, and that one saw a little turn there, extracted by Africa. And Wesley is clean bowled, swinging across the line, and so the end comes right now, as Williams was clean bowled by Africa without touching the score. And so I have it at 115 all out, and I believe the Freetown team will be a bit disappointed in the final tally. I think they would think they're about 20, 30 runs short. You could see Nathaniel is walking off, just a bit dejected. He batted really well. He should be really credited for staying there, keeping his wicket. Good partnership there with Myers there at the latter end. But Cruyff, I would go on record and say right now that Freetown could be about 20, 30 runs short.
John, if wishes were horses, beggars would ride, and you would be certainly disappointed. Well, I'm being threatened again by Officer Shedrack not to go against the ability of the lawmen to overcome a relatively modest total, and I would agree with you that the men from Freetown should be very, very, very disappointed with not being able to get at least 150 on a very, very batting-friendly wicket. I will say to you that I expect that there will be spin available to those who would choose to try and spin the ball on this wicket. We've seen some of the balls turning from Africa and from Cornelius. So again, it's going to be very, very interesting to see what the response will be by the policemen. 115, 116 to win this contest. I don't think anymore that it's an insurmountable task, but again, my money is going to stay on the men from Freetown. They're playing at home. There is some youthful exuberance. They're out on the field already, warming up, John. So we shall see as we break for, after John gives you the stats, we will break until the commencement of the innings from the lawmen.
Well, the game started with the toss, and Police, the lawmen, they won the toss, and they decided they would insert the Freetown team. And so they opened with Neil Thomas and Pete Lee. And Neil Thomas, he was the first to go. He was caught. Nicholas bowled Africa. He scored 1. Lee, he was LBW, bowled Shanisha Hector for 4. Gerald Phillip, the MVP for yesterday, he was caught. Valentine bowled Gerald for 8. Keith Baltimore, he was caught. Vincent Shadrack Jr. bowled Linton Africa for 22, played some real handsome shot. Was unfortunate in the way he got out there. He had 4 boundaries in that 22. Vance Nathaniel, really, he should be applauded. He should be really credited, the top scorer. He came in at number 5, and he was not out on 25, hitting 1 boundary. But it wasn't that. It's just that he kept his wicket, he kept the innings together, and really, really MVP type innings there by Vance Nathaniel in the circumstances. Austin Richards Jr., he was caught by LaShawn Barnard, bowled James Cornelius for 21. And I'm telling you, Austin Richards really was hitting that ball nice and crisply. He was really looking in a fine touch, but he picked out the fieldsman there. Even after the fieldsman had slid, he was able to recover and take a relatively easy catch. Antoine Willock, he was caught by Jerron Jones, bowled LaShawn Barnard for 5. Kelvin Myers, he was bowled by James Cornelius for a well-played 21, and he had some real support from outside. A lot of people making pledges to the runs that he would have scored. So my maths tell me he has a little over $100 to collect from his 21 runs. Wayne Williams, he didn't bother to score as he was bowled by James Cornelius without scoring. Kareem Richards, he was caught by Shanita Hector, bowled Linton Africa without scoring, and Wesley Willis, he was bowled by Linton Africa without scoring. And as I said before, Vance Nathaniel, he was left not out on 25. Bowling figures, Shanisha Hector, she had 4 overs, 26 runs, 1 wicket. Linton Africa, he had 6.3 overs, 1 maiden, 10 runs, 4 wicket. Wow, good bowling there by Linton Africa. Malik Gerald, 6 overs, 44 runs, 1 wicket, a bit expensive there. LaShawn Barnard, 7 overs, 1 maiden, 17 runs, 1 wicket. And just give me a second. Just trying to get this computer. James Cornelius, wow, 7 overs, 3 maidens, 8 runs, 3 wickets. Exceptional bowling there by James Cornelius. And we had Jerron Jones. He came in the latter end with 2 overs, 1 maiden, 5 runs, no wicket. And so at the end of 32.3 overs, Freetown being asked to take first strike. They had 115 for 10. We had extras. Let me see if I can find my extras. We had 8 extras, 5 byes, 3 wides there. So a bit disciplined bowling by the lawmen there. Not too many extras. So ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be taking a little break, and we will be back in a couple of minutes to bring you the second half as the lawmen in pursuit of the Sir Richard Richardson 35 over championship. They will need 116 runs to do that. We'll see you in a couple of minutes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back at the Freetown Sports Stadium, as I was told, not the Freetown Cricket Ground, the Freetown Sports Stadium, and we are bringing you live coverage of the Sir Richie Richardson 35 over competition, and today's game is between the Lawmen, the police team, coming up against the hometown Freetown team. Freetown batted first after police won the toss, and they made 115 all out. And so now the Lawmen in pursuit of 116 for the championship. And so the opening bowler there is Keith Baltimore, and he's starting from the pavilion end. The batsmen for police, Jaron Jones and Malik Gerald. So it looks like Jones on strike. Delivery, nice, full and straight. Lovely day for cricket. Nice atmosphere. The sun is out in all its glory, but a nice breeze is blowing generally from the easterly direction, and so providing some comfort and coolness for the players out there. So, and that should also aid the bowlers a bit, so probably giving them a little movement, a little drift. So they could control that ball just a little bit. They could take advantage of this stiff breeze coming across. But it's Baltimore bowling left arm over to Jaron Jones, and so far has been relatively full with most of his deliveries. So Jaron has been just coming forward and just tapping it on the offside. Have not been able to penetrate the gap, find any gaps as yet, and so Freetown has made an immediate adjustment. A man has come short of the wicket, trying to see if he can get a little aerial drive along the wing. This one now, he's pulled his length back a bit. So, and this one now, Jaron Jones just working it off of the hips and getting a single onto the onside. So the proceedings for the Lawmen has started, one without loss. We're in over number one. Welcome back, Crive. Conditions are pretty good still, and so I would say you spoke about, was it the wind? What's the name? The wind predictor. The wind predictor. I think at the start of the innings we can clearly say it's favoring the police team right at this moment.
Again, John, you're wrong. I don't know if you understand what the wind predictor means. It means that there is a probability that, at least from where you sit, that there's a high probability that the men from Freetown will get to 116 needed for victory in this contest, and the wind predictor clearly goes against whatever it is that you're saying. At the moment, they're 2 without loss in the first over. And again, looking at the first over from the men from Freetown, bang on target, except for that one delivery that eluded the wicket keeper. Seemed to be very, very steady. Up to the wicket.
A chance? Oh no. There was Barnard, not Barnard, but Jones, not to the pitch of delivery, got caught in no man's land really, and just doing a check drive, clearing the man short there, but dropping short of the man in the mid-off position. And so at the end of over number one, in reply to 115, the score is 6 without loss. 6 without loss, and so a quiet start. I think a very good over by the opening bowler, Keith Baltimore.
Comedy of errors, John, because the ball did fall just short of the man at short mid-off. But again, if he had his head in the game, he could have effected an easy run-out. But again, that's history. As Austin Richards Jr. is about to start the next over from the Harmony Harlan Is that it, John?
That's yeah. When you left there, Cruyff, I was just reading out the bowling figures just at the junction of the innings, and Cornelius, he bowled 7 overs, 3 maidens, 8 runs, 3 wicket.
Well, I was alerted by the master of ceremonies that it was actually another hat trick. First ball of the next over, that he got 2 wickets in the last 2 balls of the previous over, and he got a wicket first ball in the next over. So that 2 counts as another hat trick.
Hat trick, yeah. So it's the hat trick man of many hat tricks. But so far, a very disciplined start, I would say, by the Freetown team. Austin Richards Jr. also keeping the ball nice and full, and the stifled appeal there, but clearly going down the leg side. And but so far, they're bowling to their field. I'm looking at this Cruyff. I don't know if you've picked it up. I see Neil is fielding back with a square. I'm just saying, anything that's hit to the left or to the right of Neil has the potential of being quite a lot of runs. This one is driven nicely into the offside, but good feeling there by the skipper running around there. Keith Baltimore only restricting them to 1.
And I don't know. From a tactical standpoint, that is clearly a mistake by Austin Richards Jr. You would prefer to have him. Well, I mean, there's so many liabilities out there on the field that, I mean, where else are you going to put him? You've got a liability in the slip. You've got a liability in the cover. You've got one short extra cover. I mean, I can go on and on and on. There are just too many liabilities on the field. And so you must make up your mind to put him. Well, he has to be a fielder, unless you're going to field with a man short.
This one is full again and driven into the covers, but no run. So
fielded by another liability.
I must say I admire the discipline of the Freetown bowlers thus far, and likewise I have seen that the batsmen from the police team, they're showing some level of commitment, not giving away their wicket, playing every ball in its merit. And so at the end of over number 2, the score is 7 without loss.
The batting lineup for the policemen are very suspect. They're very suspect too. So I don't know that once you get rid of that pay at the wicket that you got, the cupboard may very well be empty. I don't know, John. You would be.
Well, they for sure. I'm sure they would be missing their captain in the middle there, and this one is clipped again by Jones behind square, and they come through for 2 runs, looking for a third, but that would be ill-advised. And so 2 more runs to the scorecard. Score goes up to 9 without loss. We're in over number 3. Gerald, I'm not certain if has Gerald faced any delivery yet? Yep. Okay, most of the strike seems to be done by Jerron Jones. Nicely played. But 5, I'm thinking here, to help Freetown's confidence, they would need an early breakthrough.
Well, 1 or 2 early wickets does change the complexion of the game. And when you're defending small totals, you want to have breakthroughs as often as you can. And like I said, with so many liabilities in the field, you would want to keep to a minimum of 3 runs and over going into your over number 16, 17 thereabout.
That was a lovely little check drive there by Jones. One thing with the batsmen so far, they're not trying to overhit the ball, just finding the gaps here and there, getting the 1s and 2s, and I think it's really sensible batting. It's not a very huge total, and it will just take a committed approach to really overcome this 115 runs. In terms of the bowling, after you have Keith and Austin, I know Gerald Phillip bowls some round armers. Also Wesley Williams, he also bowls a bit. So it'll be interesting to see the depth of the Freetown team here. This one is nicely played there, just coming forward but holding the hands back just a little bit, waiting for that delivery to come and then just guiding it into the gap there, square of the wicket. And so another single.
No run, John. You need to get closer to the proceedings.
No run? Yeah, and they ran a single.
They did?
Yeah.
Wow.
Jones was on strike, so...
John, you had your glasses on?
It was off this time.
Sorry.
Real sensible batting cry from the two batsmen. Well, let's see Gerald. Gerald hasn't had much of the strike, but generally he is a no-nonsense player. He wants to get on with the scoring as much as possible. He's not one that's going to be prodding and pushing. He's always looking to give the ball a nice little whack. But it's the end of the third over, and so the lawmen chasing 116 for victory. They are 12. So from 3 overs, they are 12 without loss.
The score is all smiles. The score on the police side, all smiles. I would say smile because you're on candid camera, but not today. All right? You're just on Facebook Live. All right? And you will be interviewed shortly, so...
Dead ball signal. Another thing I just wish to point out here, Crive. Nathaniel, number 1 on the field, is in the first slip, it looks like. He batted for quite a bit of time in the Freetown innings, and yet still he was one of the first ones to be on the field, ready to field.
Yes.
And so, it demonstrates his commitments, some level of his fitness also there. A lot of times we see these youngsters, after they bat some innings, they want to take some time off, put their legs up, but that one is chipped just over the infield there, and a single to Jerron Jones. I think he has done the bulk of the scoring really so far, and but it's just good to see that Nathaniel, regardless of his age, his limitations, he's still very committed to the game of cricket.
I would agree, John. In fact, I don't know what the game or where the game would be today without that continued interest. And he's always first out there on the preparation of the wicket. I must tell you that every day, from Tuesday to Thursday, that he's the first man out and the last man.
That's a loud appeal, but the umpire immediately shaking his head there. Not too certain. We're not at the best vantage point, so I can't say if it hit him just outside the line. But the umpire definitely was not interested immediately, shaking his head not out.
That looked to me to be very close. At best, it would be missing leg stump. A good shot.
Well, it's cracked back with a square, and they come for 1, 2. So far, Crive, one thing we could say with the two batsmen is they've been able to just keep the scoreboard ticking. Haven't had, I'm not certain if we've had any boundaries hit yet,
Right.
but they have just been keeping the ones and the twos coming along.
And that should always be the approach. When you're chasing a small total, it can get tricky that you become complacent and you go into a defensive mode, only to find out that the overs creeps up on you and will force you to do things that you would not normally do. So they're using they have applied the right approach in picking up the ones and the twos. That way you don't fall too far behind a very, very modest scoring rate. I still say that I would not suggest to you that this is going to be an anti-climax.
Good run in there. That should only have been one. But recognizing the lethargic approach to the ball there, looks like Pete Lee there, and so the batsman quickly recognized there was an opportunity for a second, and they ran through quickly. So at the end of 4 overs, the score is 17 without loss. Akash Joseph is saying that 115 looks like 160 for you guys. So I guess this is another Freetown supporter.
I want to thank that. I want to thank that person. Again, small totals can become tricky. Freetown will still feel that they have the advantage playing at home. This game has a long way to go, and I will say to you that this is not going to be an easy total.
Derek Marilyn is saying what matters most is your approach to achieve that score which was made. Any score made is a challenge. And that was a little misfield there, so 2 more runs. Yeah, Freetown would recognize every run is important, and they would have to really, those fieldsmen in the circle, they may want to be just a little tight to cut out any single. Well, police have relinquished one bandage. The slip has been withdrawn now. And just as I said, Crive, the fieldsmen are so deep that all the batters have to do is just pat them into the little gaps there, and there's an easy single on offer.
And that's what happens when you have so many liabilities that can come back to us. You've got 8 people in the field that can't move with any kind of agility, either left or to the right. So, I mean, if the policemen had to play it smart, the thing to do is just to push it a little to the left. That could have easily been another single. Because of course, if you were able to put pressure on the man at point, more than likely, even if he effected a clean take, it would have been a challenge for him to throw the ball back to the wicketkeeper without them being able to get an easy single.
So Baltimore continues. This one is wide and is slashed into the gap, and it will run away into the cover boundary. So 4 good looking runs there for Malik Gerald. As I said, generally he likes to get on with the game. He's not one that's going to be pushing and prodding, and so 4 runs to the score. That score goes up to 24-24 without loss. So a solid start here developing for the lawmen.
First boundary, John, or is it the second? First boundary?
I believe it's the first boundary. Yeah, first boundary.
Good looking shot.
Nicely driven down the ground, but there's a man on the long on boundary. He comes across, and a single. Clive, I'm going to put it to you. If Freetown is unable to take a wicket in the next couple overs, we're going to see the shoulders dropping a bit. We're going to see that enthusiasm quiet down a bit.
It would be more emphatic for you to suggest to me that that's what you would want, John. I will say to you that is not going to happen.
No, sir, that's not what I would want. I am not rooting for any particular team. I'm just trying to be as objective
John,
as I can,
really?
in terms of what I see in front of me. And end of over number 5, and the score is 26 without loss. 5 points.
Yes, but I don't understand why John is so afraid to bring forward this bias. I mean, last week at Liberta, he rooted for the lawmen. I don't know if he has reason to be rooting for the... And here again, clearly, rooting for the lawmen again. No. I mean, it's not the wrong side to be on, John.
No, sir. But, I try not to root, even if I may have my personal bias, and I really have no personal bias in these games.
That's a contradiction. Even though you may have it, although you don't have it, John,
in this game,
it is okay, John. It is okay.
No, Crive. You're not gonna put words into my mouth here. Just a little shift here from this game. Crive, I'm not certain if you'd have followed. I'm just looking up. I see that the West Indies team won the first one-day international against the UAE earlier today. UAE, they scored 202 runs, and the West Indies made 206 in reply. And in the UAE innings, we had Ali Nasir making 58 and Virati Aravin making 40, bowling for the West Indies. Let me see if I can just give you quickly. Himar Paul, he had 3 wickets. And Dominic Drakes and Udine Smith and Yannick Curry each had 2 wickets apiece. And Ruston Chase had 1 wicket when the West Indies went in. Whoa, Brandon King, who they said was a little out of form, he had 112 of 112 deliveries, struck 12 fours and 4 sixes. Jonathan Charles, who was a late addition to the West Indies team.
Is this going to ever finish, John? Are you?
He scored 24. And then we had Shamar Brooks scoring 44. Casey Carty 7 not out, Shai Hope 13. And so Shai Hope 13 not out also. So good start for the West Indies there in the UAE. Cruyff.
That was deliberate, John. I have absolutely no comment. I have absolutely no interest in the qualifying tournament, because if the West Indies does not make the final 2 in the qualifying tournament, I would suggest to you that it's time to close down the cricket.
Nice little shot there by Gerald, just cutting that behind of square there, point, and going through for 2 runs. So Freetown not able to get their field placement as correct as they'd like. Now they're moving the slip out, trying to plug that hole. We're starting to see the feet moving a little bit slow in the field there for the Freetown guys, as they've not been able to get that breakthrough as yet. So Jaron Jones, no sorry, it's Malik. Gerald on strike, and here he is just caressing that into the extra cover region, and another 2 runs. So the runs are coming too easy here, Cruyff.
Yes. The men from Freetown is definitely making it too easy. The field placing is at best suspect. They're not plugging the necessary gaps. And you would think with all that experience out there with Austin Richards, you would think that this would have been a better approach. First of all, you cannot be defending such a small total and to be ultra defensive. So there must be a mixture of defense and attack. And from what I have seen, the men from Freetown have been placed on the defensive. If you play that defensively, you're going to concede easy signals, not to overstate the importance of noticing that the men from Freetown are very handicapped in their agility or their ability or lack thereof to effect reasonable or easy stops. So this over may be the deciding over, John. I would hate to concede 2 bets in a day to you. It has never happened. So I still say that even though the win predictor in favor of Freetown is down to 75%, I would say to you that with 1 or 2 wickets, this could prove to be a very, very different contest.
Well, 34 without loss, 6.1 overs, and I would agree with you there, Cruyff. I think this would have to be the game changer. He's like the Cleve Cornelius for the Freetown team, and if he can make that breakthrough, the umpire is not in support of that.
I cannot understand the animation from the bowler. That was clearly missing leg stump. I don't know what he's seeing. Ball clearly missing at least 2 leg stumps.
He had a different vision. Very, very disappointed with the umpire decision. That one is full again. Oh, nicely fielded there by, that looks like Austin Richards. So Austin Richards leading from the front there,
Yes.
showing the guys the determination that's needed if they're going to bring this one home for the community. Nicely played off the pad there, just turning that into the onside and getting an easy single. Yeah, Philip had a good all-round game yesterday. He scored 34 gritty runs for his team, keeping the innings together, something like what Nathaniel did today. And he also, I think, took 3 wickets yesterday for his team. So they would want him to repeat that effort with the ball and getting them that much-needed breakthrough. This one is down the leg side and beating both the keeper, and so a wide, and they're coming back for 2. So really sloppy in the field here for one shot signaled by the umpire, so only 2 wides really. Yeah, one shot.
Very, 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 very poor cricket. Easy stop down the leg side, and he wasn't able to effect the stop, and add insult to injury. The fielder also made a mess of that.
Driven, but not with any real great power or timing. More probably dropped the ball into the ground. So the end of the first over there by Gerald Phillip. And so at the end of the over, the lawmen in the pursuit of 116 for victory.
Signal.
The score is 37 without loss. 37 without loss. So Clive, I will have to really put you under a little hypnosis. The win predictor is clearly on any scale at this moment. 37 without loss, chasing 115. That's another 78 runs or 79 runs or so to get. Haven't lost any wicket yet. No, Griff. We got to say clearly in favor.
It's not a bad forecast. Maybe for the first time.
You're slowly waking up, Griff. That comatose that was on top of you is slowly wearing off. I can see that.
Yeah. I still say, John, that with the removal of the spear, that 70 runs will feel as if you had to climb Mount Everest.
Well, Austin Williams Jr., he's really trying. He's trying to pull everything, all of his experience. He's trying to rely on that, see if he can get a breakthrough. But I must say, Gerald is batting, I would say, sort of out of character. Not necessarily the way you would see him batting. He would be looking to be smacking that ball all over the park, but maybe they had a good team talk, or I don't know what, but he's barely playing more within himself. A lovely on drive there by Gerald, straight bat down to the man on the long on boundary area. So another single.
Yes, John, it's good going, sensible batting. You're chasing a very, very modest total, and your approach should always suggest that you mix caution with common sense, and I must commend the lawmen in their approach. I don't know if it was planned or they just downright lucky, John.
Nicely clipped off of the pad and running for a quick single. Oh, good throw there. That was a good field in there. Who's that fieldsman there? That's Willock. Okay, young Willock, looking real nifty in the field there, picking up and just throwing that to the keeper. But Gerald was able to get in relatively easy in the end.
Yeah, John. Win predictor. Slightly in favor of the lawmen. I'm not going to.
Clive, don't worry. The anesthesia that is on you will slowly evaporate, and you will start to see a bit. You'll start to feel
clearer,
a bit better going forward. So at the end of over number 8, in pursuit of 116 for the Sir Richie Richardson 35 over competition title. The lawmen, they are 41 without loss.
So, John, we should be singing. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. Because I'm not easily moved, I'm still going to hold out some hope that once you remove these two, who are clearly getting really comfortable, the verdict is still out.
Clive, I just want to go. Just during the break, I went downstairs and then I was just looking around and I saw the whole, I saw the community out there, and I just love the feeling to see when the community comes out and support the sporting activity around. I wish we could see a lot more. We know sports is not really too high on everybody's agenda, but it's good to see when the community comes out and we see quite a bit of the supporters out there, and they're a bit quiet now.
Well, there were a couple of things, John, that
they're a bit quiet now.
There were a couple of things that I'll be forced to address during this over, and one of them is, let me be very clear. Pump the brakes on the enthusiasm, because 98% of the spectators that are here, all right, are football spectators. So just pump the brakes on the enthusiasm. Secondly, nobody can silence me. So I'm hearing that the law people.
There's a chance for a catch. Oh, beautiful catch here by Keith. What a catch there.
Wow.
And that may be the inspiration that the Freetown team would need. That was excellent. That was a nothing delivery again. And there was Gerald going deep in the squeeze, trying to hit that out the park. And a lovely catch there in the deep by Baltimore.
How do you like me now, John? How do you like me now? Beautiful catch. I mean, wonderfully executed, and they're asking that the umpires take a look at whether or not his feet did touch the rope. And the replay says that it was a comfortable catch in the end. Sorry about that, John.
Well, Akish was just asking for a wicket. He said, let's go, boys. We just need one wicket. So, Akish, there you got your wicket. So, we're going to see how this unfolds now. But that was a lovely catch there by the captain, Keith Baltimore.
Top notch. At any level, it was wonderfully timed. He had to stretch. He stretched all the way out. And in the end, wonderful execution. The scorers here are sitting in disbelief, John. In disbelief.
Well, one of the scorer, you're assuming. Because the other one, I'm sure, is quite elated.
John, look at that.
All right, so the new batsman out there is going to be Damian Valentine. He's a little stubborn batsman. He has scored a few runs here and there for the police team, so he would want to stay there with Jones, offer some solidity to the batting approach.
It's just one wicket down, John.
Whereas
I don't think that is anything.
Gerald Phillip, he wants to take some more wicket. They put a slip in place, which you've asked for a little more aggression.
Yes.
So try to see if they could get another breakthrough here. Okay, still not satisfied with the field, so they're going to make another adjustment. They're going to tighten the offside field, so clearly tells you that it's going to be more an offside attack. So a ringer field men on the offside here, so Valentine is going to have to hit that with precision through the offside if he's going to score. But let's see what's going on. So
is there any shift, John, in the win predictor? Would you say with the
no,
fall
sir.
of one wicket?
No, sir.
Police being on what, 40 for one?
Nice and full, lovely flight delivery there, and Valentine, probably if he was batting for a little longer, would have chipped out on that, but just coming to the crease, he had to be watchful. But here's Phillip, and again nicely flighted, but that one is just wide, and Phillip is again animated by the umpire's call. Umpire Oliver Benjamin signaling wide there. So Philip would be better advised to focus on his game. Don't get into any confrontation with the umpire. Focus on his job at hand, getting wickets. This one is short outside the off stump and is slapped into. Oh, nice pick up there by Baltimore. So Baltimore is all over. Probably one of the younger ones on the field, and really providing some enthusiasm there for his teammates.
Yes, John. 1 wicket down. What is the score?
44.
She doesn't even want to tell me the score. 44 for 1 in this the
8.
The
The 9th. Sorry, the 9th over.
in the 9th over. The 9th over. 4 9s are 36. All right, just about 5 and over, John. I don't think that the policemen I don't think that they're running away with the game.
Yeah, but at this stage of the game, with 115 runs, okay, so that's the end of over number 9, and at the end of over number 9,
44 for 1.
44 for 1.
It would be interesting to see where the Freetown team was at the same junction. Huh? 40 for 2. All right, let's
Yeah, but
do.
Clive, what I would say here, I'm not too certain that the run range is of any real significance in this game at the moment, because the score was so small. The police team has the luxury of just batting and batting and batting, and those runs will eventually come.
I don't know why people can get carried away so early in an inning, because I just got a signal that the policemen will win by 5 wickets.
Wow. Well,
I think somebody's drunk and the party's over. Huh?
well, let's see. It's going to be Richards again, and this time he's coming into the left-handed Valentine. So Valentine just coming forward there.
We're in the 10th over, John.
We're in the 10th over.
Yes.
Okay. Valentine is looking a lot. Sorry, the Freetown fielders look like they have a little pep in their step, anticipating that something is about to happen again.
Are you saying that there's tension in the air? I wonder on which side of the fence, John, because to me it looks as if the men from Freetown, they are very, very comfortable, knowing that it's going to be very, very difficult to reach this total. And with 1 wicket down, why are the policemen, why are they nervous?
I am not aware that the police are nervous.
Is it because you can't see, John? You can't feel tension?
From what I'm seeing outside there, it looks quite
Relaxing. He's out.
comfortable.
Yes, you got him. No.
And Cruyff, you're begging for wicket. Clearly from here, that was going down the leg. So
All right.
Cruyff is in a very emotional state at this moment. But
All right, John.
Akash is of the view. Akash Joseph is of the view that that catch there by Baltimore, that wicket, will start a domino effect where we'll have quite a few wickets falling one behind the other. So I guess these Freetown supporters, they're really hard-nosed and they ain't going to sway very easily, just as my fellow commentator here, who, although seeing everything right in front of his eyes.
I don't know why you would think that I'm in support of the men from Freetown, but
I don't need to think. You've clearly enunciated that.
all right.
Here for us.
And at least I was not afraid to show my hand, as opposed to the way that you played. You want to play 2 sides of the fence.
No,
and
sir.
when you look at it, you're leaning on one only. But that's all right, John. I still say that the men from Freetown will win this game.
So after 10 overs, chasing 116 for victory, the score is 45. So that tells me a further 71 runs needed in 25 overs. Cruyff, that's just a little below 3 runs and over. So absolutely no worries. 9 wickets intact. The police team, they just have to play sensibly, whereas Freetown, they're going to have to decide when they need to attack, when they'll have to pull back a bit. They'll have to be tight in the infield, preventing these singles, but also not giving away any boundaries whatsoever.
Yeah, John, I just looked at the win predictor, and it's up to 75% in favor of the men from police. But the 25% in favor of Freetown, I will say to you, is quickly going to turn. again, they're playing at home, and they should feel very, very confident that getting 9 wickets before 100 is a very, very easy task.
What I would love to see Freetown do now is Valentine is still relatively new. I would have a slip. I'd probably have a man a short cover catch in, so he can see some fieldsmen in front of his eyes. Kind of let him think. You don't want to be too easy on him. You don't want him to get too comfortable in the wicket too early. But the slip does come into place. This one is shot. He's cut it in the air, but he finds a gap and he runs out. Can he beat the man to the boundary? No. And they're going to come back for 2 runs. So short delivery, and he was able to slap it. It was in the air for some time, but was in the gap, and so he got 2 runs.
Still making it too easy for the men from Police to score.
I must say, it's a very brave field setting. Crive, if you look, there's absolutely no one
No protection on the left
behind
side.
the umpire. Yeah, so the bowler really has to keep that delivery outside the off stop, and he has been doing a fine job of that thus far, really keeping it outside there. But a very, very brave decision in terms of the field placement here.
Well, you're often caught between a rock and a hard place. Are you going to go into an ultra attacking mood, or are you going to create a balance? And very often that's the problem that captain will often face. You can't afford to give away any runs, and certainly you must have some protection on the boundary, and ultimately you're caught between 2 minds. Are you going to give up? Are you going to give up the boundaries? Are you going to stop these singles? It's just a very, very... So I think that they would have fallen short of at least 30 runs, which would have made it very, very difficult for the lawmen to get to. But at this point, you're not going to force me to say that the lawmen are home.
So at the end of over number 11, chasing 116 for victory, the lawmen they're 49 for 1. Jerome Jones, he's in 17 not out, and he's just recently joined there by Damon Valentine, who is on 4 not out. But Crive, you spoke about knowing when to attack and when to to be protective. I would have thought, and I still believe, Valentine is still fresh in the wicket. You would want to keep Valentine on strike as much as possible. You'd want to have some fieldsmen surrounding him, letting him think twice about moving these feet and see if you can really create a forced error in some regards.
Boy, John, I wouldn't want to be in the shoes of Austin Richards Jr., because there is a very, very delicate balance between going all out and staying relatively defensive.
Well, there's a new bowler coming from the Harmony Hall end, Antoine Willock. He opened the ball yesterday against the Masters team, but did not have a very good spell. I think he bowled 1 over for 14 runs, and then he came back in the last over and picked up the last wicket. And so his confidence will not be at its highest in terms of the bowling department, but his team obviously is relying on him. As I said, he opened the bowling yesterday but wasn't very effective, and he would hope to have a much better performance today, probably getting a few wickets on his belt and giving his team a chance here in this finals.
Very, very disappointing score by the...
This one is clipped off the pad behind square, and they go for 1, and they should be easy comeback for 2. So the 50 is up for the lawmen. So 1 hurdle out of the way, 50, and Quite when you're a batting team and you're facing a small total like this, do you set small targets, incremental small targets to get them, or you just just wait around and see how it plays out.
Yes, they have the luxury of setting targets per over. Let's say it's 100 on the board. You would want to get in your first 10 overs, like they've done. You say, all right, if we score 50 with minimum casualty, then we're well on our way. The other side to that coin is that you can become ultra defensive, play yourself into a pocket, and be forced in the end to accelerate, creating unnecessary chances for the opposition. So you have to be very, very balanced in your approach, because, like I said, chasing small targets can become very, very tricky. But I think that the lawman, in terms of the application, has done exactly what the doctor ordered.
So Gerard Jones, he's been there from the start, and he would want to really bat deep into the innings. What we would have saw last Thursday, Clive, as you said earlier, the batting for the police team may be a bit suspect in the middle without their captain, Maryland, and so they would really depend on their top 3 or 4, as I was very concerned when I saw Nichols batting at 4 last Thursday. Let me question the depth of their batting. But so far, so good. And so another over in the bag there. So we have 13 overs.
Still very, very brittle in the
12.
middle.
12 overs, 55 for 1. 55 for 1.
John, I would still say that the police team very, very soft in the middle, very, very soft in the middle, and if the Freetown men are able to get breakthroughs at intervals. I mean, it doesn't have to be a rush of 4 or 5 wickets at a time, but even from here. And if you notice, John, the wind predictor has not moved because of the suspect soft underbelly of the policeman.
Oh, he's out. And there it is. A lovely looped delivery there, and Jones, not to the pitch of it, just lobbed it back to the bowler. And so Philip, as we had said earlier, Clive, he could be the difference maker here, and so far he has grabbed those 2 wickets for the lawmen.
John, don't get too
for the
excited.
Freetown team, sorry.
Don't get too excited. It's only 2 wickets down. They're halfway there. But I still say that the men from Freetown will feel that they're in with a chance. I don't know, Shadrach was very, very happy to announce that they would win by 5 wickets. I wonder how he feels now that a joker goes to the wicket. Yes, okay.
Well, and I said I was a bit concerned. It seems there's no need for concern. It seems like that is the approach that the police team is taking, and Neville Nichols is their number 4 batsman. Quite a very strange sighting for me. I remember last year he came in the bottom 8, 9, 10, but now he is really up there. So I guess his game has improved quite dramatically.
John, I will allow the viewers and the listeners to determine whether or not this number 4, batting at number 4, is indeed a rabbit with the bat. I will leave the viewers and the listeners to make that decision. Having played as long as I've played, John, all right, I should know how a guy holds his bat, whether or not he's capable of playing or not. So let us see. I've been chided in my description of the batsman on strike, Nichols. So let's see. Let him prove me wrong, John. I will gladly concede. I'm going to give him 10 runs. If he gets 10 runs, then we can open an account.
Trying to crack. Oh, sloppy field in there. That should not have been any run. Freetown cannot afford to have these misfields. They do not have. They did not set a huge target.
Look at that applause.
And and you cannot afford to misfield like that.
I mean, is that called for John?
But Clive Nichols is off the mark. He's on 2.
Right.
So he has made his contribution. Started his account. Philip again, nicely flighted. And Nichols opened up his shoulder, showing I'm batting with a plywood here, brother. Over the wicket. And this one again, just prodding it forward. Philip asking the man at short mid wicket to come even shorter, so they're trying to bring a ring around the gentleman, and he's sweeping, and the umpire immediately signaled wide, so he didn't get anything onto it. And they got 2, so that's going to be 2 wide. Again, extras which the Freetown team just cannot afford. They have to be a bit more disciplined if they're going to really keep fighting. The target is small, Crive, and these extras just don't help their cause.
Of course not, John. Very, very poor wicket keeping. Well, Nichols has surprised everybody, including his fellow officers, that he has actually scored 3 runs. I don't know that it's anything to write home about, John. My prediction stands firm that if Nichols can score 10 runs, police will win this contest hands down.
After 13 overs, police in pursuit of 116, they're 61 for 2. So at the moment we have a partnership here of 6. They're scoring at 4.66, and the required run rate is 2. Pardon me? Yeah. The required run rate now is 2.5, it looks like. So very easy target for the lawmen there. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we want to remind you, you're watching live cricket, live Parish League cricket in the Sir Richie Richardson 35 over finals, and we're right here at the Freetown ground, Freetown Sports Stadium. Let me get it right. And you're watching the police team and the Freetown team battle here for that coveted title there.
Oh, there's a name in the front. I didn't know.
Oh, so we're being corrected. The stand we're in, or the pavilion, is that the name of the ground or the name of the pavilion? Of the area? The pavilion. Okay, so the pavilion we're in has a name. I'll have to go around and get that name.
She did say with a lot of arrogance that we should respect that we are almost on sacred sake. Is there anything that I can say that is not going to be subject to being reviewed or ridiculed, John? I don't know how I've made so many enemies. Can you repeat the name of the pavilion, darling? And Vance Nathaniel Pavilion? It is? All right. Thank you.
Alrighty, well, I must apologize. I was here yesterday. I didn't even recognize it was there, so I guess this is a testament to the contribution of Austin Richards Jr. and Max Nathaniel. This edifice has been renamed after them, so again, we want to congratulate those 2 individuals and hope that others in the community would want to emulate their contribution and maybe even surpass it to help to continually develop the youths of this community.
Would it be of any significance, John, that the 2 names are painted in red? Would that be of any significance, or we can just have a coincidence? What do you think?
We'll pass that over.
We'll pass that. Okay, John. John, it's amazing how you stay away from the controversial issues. I have just noted that the names on the plaque, all right, is painted in red, and you've decided to leave it at that. Thank you, John. I do appreciate that. You continue to be straight, staying away from the controversial issues. Okay, look at that. The uniforms are red. They one day.
Orange, no, but remember they were red for like the past 3 seasons.
All right. So clearly, the red is of some significance. Whether or not you want to discuss it, the uniforms were red. The plaque is outlined in red. The ball is even red, John. The ball could easily have been white.
After over number
14.
14 in pursuit of 116 for victory, it's 61 for 2. Yes, Grife, your color concern now?
No, absolutely not. I was just pointing out the obvious. The ball is red. The signs on the plaque was painted red, and the uniforms are red. I mean that could not be a coincidence.
And you know, if we cut our skin, what comes out is red.
All right, John. I think you're taking it a little too far.
So far, Crife, I would say that police is still ahead in terms of the win predictor, as you term it.
Yes.
I think Freetown is caught in a bind here. They're between whether they should attack, if they should be saving some runs, and I just believe they have no choice but to attack and try and get these wickets here. Is that an on the edge?
The only how that Freetown is going to win this game is if they bowl the policemen out. Certainly, it's not going to come down to runs. The runs is not important any longer. It's clearly in favor of grudgingly I will say, in favor of the men from the police. But I think that Freetown lost the game, batting first. Not that they had a choice.
Did I just hear you said that Freetown lost the game?
Well,
it looks like the anesthesia is slowly wearing off.
Can I interview anonymous? Or you choose not to be interviewed? You want to remain anonymous? You want to at least give the viewing audience a name that they can go by? Huh?
They know my name right now.
Oh dear. I'm just not lucky to have been offered an interview, and I want to thank you gracefully. Not because we were on.
Oh, that is wow! That was close there. That was short, but the ball did not get up as much as Valentine thought it would, and it kept real low, and he got a bottom edge and just eluded that stump. So Philip keeping it tight and creating some opportunities. And one thing we must say with Philip Gripe, at the end of this over, we'll get back to that. So at the end of over number 15, 61 for 2, so that looks like a maiden over. That would have been bold there. Yeah, Gripe, what I was saying, one thing with Valentine, he has a very strong offside feel, and he's really bowling to his field. Everything is just on and about outside the off stump.
Yeah, good. And the margin of error, again, is very, very slim, because he has absolutely no protection on the onside. So, I mean, doing the right thing, bowling to the field, and that oftentimes is difficult, especially when you're defending small totals. You can become preoccupied with putting the ball in the right spot and ending up overcompensating.
Well, one of the benefits for that small total for the police team, they can absorb a couple of tight spells by the Freetown team, and that would not really bother them that greatly, because the asking rate is below 4 at the moment, so there's really no rush on their behalf, so they can absorb a few tight overs from the Freetown team. Whereas Freetown, on the other hand, now, yes, they need some tight overs, but they do also will need wickets to complement these tight overs.
Ball is
Here
too
is
short.
Nichols short, and he's stopping it behind square. Doesn't have the leg to reach the boundary, and so they're able to go for 2 runs. So
Nichols is 4, 5, 5. 10, right. So we have 5 more runs to go, right? Okay.
So there's another little wager in the back here with the scorer, my fellow commentator. 10 runs he's given Nichols. If Nichols gets that 10 runs, he is conceding that Police will have this in the bag.
I mean, Nichols does look the part. I mean, there's no question that he's well dressed, but that's about.
Wow, Nichols, his confidence is up now. Where did that shot come from?
From nowhere.
He just decided he was going to have a heave at that one, and luckily for him, that fell well short of the field.
Would you want to bet me that Nichols started playing cricket when he was at what 35? There, John. He certainly did not start early because that is all the talent. That is all the talent that he ended up with. I mean, he could not have been playing. He could not have been playing for that long.
It's Willock here, and this one is a wide delivery outside the off stump. Umpire says that's within the tram lines there. So Willock not really getting it right, not really bothering the batsmen, not really getting a good rhythm. So he has some work to do. But
John, would you agree that looking at Nichols that he would have started when he was in his 30s playing? Huh? Because I mean, generally speaking, the earlier that you start to play, right, is the more accumulation of talent. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, that's true.
So if Nichols is about, I would guess that he's about 40. He can't be any younger than 40, right? If he started playing at 20, right, he would have been much better today at 40 than he is. Would you agree, John?
That's a point of view.
Okay.
But Clive, listen. We have to give the young man some credit.
Is he young, John?
Well, anything.
He's certainly younger than I am, but I don't know that he's young. Are you saying that he may actually have a career?
No. Not in terms of a career, but
okay.
The fact that, irregardless of his age, his skill set, his ability, he still comes out there
on the lack thereof.
and he gives the effort, and that is all you could ask for of a player going out there, is giving that effort. Yes, we would like to see excellence at most time, but we all know all of us operate on different levels. So at the end of over number 16, the score is 65 for 2. Nichols and Valentine both on 6. This is a partnership of 10. Last batsman to go was Jerron Jones. He was caught and bowled by Gerald Phillip for 22.
John, I see you have a very, very agreeable audience. Everybody in the pavilion, except Mark, the producer, is in agreement with everything that I've said. So I'm outnumbered. I'm going to surrender. All right, I'm going to surrender.
No. Don't surrender yet. The battle is still on.
Okay. Huh? I'm wondering, Mr. Producer. 23? Age 22?
What do you used to do, Mark? No, I mean, what was his discipline?
All right, thank you very much. John.
That's a loud appeal, but that looks like it was going down leg from this angle here to me, and the umpire is in agreement with that, not giving it out. You could see where the keeper was. Clive, what you felt of that appeal?
Just ambitious, because I don't know where that appeal was going. The ball was clearly down the leg side again.
And this time he gets some connection onto it. Does it have the leg? There's a lot of space here, and I think it will beat the man into the boundary, and yes it does. So Phillip getting his line wrong there for the first time. Well, the second time. He did it before. The batsman did not capitalize, and he said, well, here's a chance again, try it again. and Valentine made no mistake this time.
John, are you going to disregard what the producer said?
With-
Well, he had him at 23 now. He's 43 and he's not any better than he was. He's now 40. All right, he's now 40 and he's no better than he was at 23. Then he's not 40. He's all right. I would say 43. Would I be? All right, over 43, 45. So he's my age. When I was 15, when I see John, see.
This one
See?
again. Valentine is having a swish outside of the. He's bowled him. Whoa! I was blindsided by Valentine from this side, and I didn't see any celebration. So another wicket goes. So Philip is really carrying the Freetown team all by himself on his back, and another wicket goes. So Damian Valentine, he goes bowled by Jared Phillip for 10, scores 69 for 3, so another 57 runs needed and 7 wickets intact.
There is something called there's something called and let me say this, John, that you were very, very deliberate in not noticing that the man was clean bowled. I don't know that you were blindsided.
No, I was blindsided. If you see the angle we're at, and it's a left-handed batsman, so when he swung across the line, I just did not see anything happen. I couldn't see the stumps, and it was only after the producer said he was bowled.
Can we see a little bit of trouble for the men from Police? Should they lose another wicket? Because remember that there's a soft underbelly. The middle of the middle of the Police batting lineup is very, very brittle. And I mean, that is admitted by our good friend Cedric. John, all of a sudden you're not in place. You're not, well, I will give you the ball. Oh, he's quickly back in place.
No, I just wanted to get the name of the batsman. I haven't seen Tariq Prince, and he's bowled him. He's bowled him. Clean bowl. He has yorked him, and so another wicket goes. So Jarrell Phillip again carrying this team. So 5. It looks like the win predictor is balancing out a bit. Huh?
John, is this when I take my leave? I mean, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but certainly the game has shifted. Now the win predictor is definitely in the balance, John. I told you that the soft underbelly of the policeman. Remember the prediction prior to the loss of the 2 wickets. Alright? The Police was predicted to win by 5 wickets. Now I'm seeing fingers that would suggest that they're only going, still 5. Okay, no problem. And I can't seem to keep the scorer behind the laptop. I don't know what has caused the unease.
The score is also a motivator for the Police team, so she's trying to get her guys to refocus and to really re-strategize on getting these balance of 57 runs, I think, or so there. So the game is shaping up nicely, Crive. Really nicely.
I would say to you that there is turbulence aboard. There is turbulence aboard this vessel. John, there is a sense of unease in the pavilion, and I am trusting that your viewers is experiencing the turbulence that I knew was going to come, John. I knew that it was only a matter of time, because the soft underbelly of the Police team is now being exposed. I often said that we can expect that they're going to be a little shaky in the middle, and they are totally exposed now, John. And now the win predictor is saying that Freetown is going to win by 30 runs. So John, I will welcome you back into the booth whenever you think that I mean, this is unnerving, to say the least. Anyway, the man with the golden arm goes away from it.
Oh, there was that a chance? That was a swish outside the off stump by Africa. So Philip really creating some havoc here for the lawmen. Let's see if the umpire say a bye. So it beat the keeper and the batsman all together, and so 2 byes.
All right, I'll tell you what, John. I'm going to be very, very analytical. If Africa goes within the next 2 overs, all right, the policemen will lose this game by 30 runs. This is the last recognized batsman at the wicket. You cannot. Oh well. Okay. I was swiftly corrected by the senior of the Shadrach family in suggesting that his son may actually be the last. But let us analyze what has gone wrong for the men from police. They were clearly in the ascendancy 3 overs ago. I said to you, John, that even without any support in the pavilion, that this was going to be a very shaky period, and this would actually determine whether or not the policemen were going to win this game comfortably. And still, I will say to you that the policemen may actually win this game, but it's not going to be as comfortable as you thought.
Well, I think we first of all have to give credit to the bowler, Philip. He has really been bowling consistently on that line and length. He had 1 delivery or 2 deliveries where he missed his line, but generally he has been on target, and so we have to give him that credit for really bringing his team back into this game. And I think we can basically say the game is really evenly poised now, and this passage of play could be the determining factor as to which balance this game shifts into. So the bowler is going to be Vance Nathaniel. Wow, quite interesting. Let's see what Vance is coming with. Oh my. And this one is cracked in the ear, and they're going to come through for 2. Remember, Africa is not as quick as Nichols, so they'll have to be careful. But I'm telling you, I am suspecting something is going to happen here. This is too good to be true with what I'm seeing with
I am very, very depressed.
Nathaniel.
I've been plunged into a state of depression, John. I cannot believe at this juncture, with things hanging in the balance, that had to be very, very close. Very, very close. It was literally a full toss. The man was trapped in the crease.
Clive, I don't know if you understand what I just said a while ago. I suspect something is going to happen with this over.
And I was driven into depression.
Wide.
By Nathaniel, because with bringing into the attack Nathaniel, I think that the men from Freetown is clearly saying that they've given up all hope.
Well, what are the other options? They have Wesley.
But tactically, John, and to be serious, Austin Richard Jr. must have a couple of overs left. I
think Baltimore has a few.
Right, at least.
I think Baltimore has a couple. Well, maybe he's trying to buy a wicket. Nathaniel? Our producer is just telling us in the last encounter between these two teams, you have 4 wickets, so
John.
You got to go when it's hot. When it's hot, it's hot.
Go to the hot hand.
Yep. This one is
like in basketball.
This one is pushed down the ground, and so an easy single.
And I think that Nichols is on 10 now.
He is
9.
So still in the balance.
9 is 1 away from 10. 9. Did she attach no balls or wides to total, John?
He scored a couple of 2s, and Nathaniel is very precise in setting his field. Now he's decided to go around the wicket to the left-hander. So Nathaniel is not taking his game very easy, very strategic in what he wants to accomplish. And this one is just rolled under, and a chance for a run out, and he missed it. So not a convincing over, but not a bad over in the end by Nathaniel there. And so after over number 16, the score 18, sorry, after over number 18, it's 76 for 4. So Crive, that gives me exactly 40 runs in 17 overs. Still required way below 3 runs and over. Crive Freetown is pulling out all the stops. I see a gentleman on the field. I don't know if you can pick up who that is. He's giving advice to Austin Jr. And so Freetown is really wants to get this one in the bag, pulling out all the stops. That's not Zorel? No. Okay, somebody else.
And he actually went on the field.
On the field, so I'm telling you, you guys really taking this. Good to see the youngsters out there on the side playing a little football. Just got to be careful that ball coming out there. But really good to see a nice little family atmosphere here at the field. And this one is turning to the onside and running a quick single again. And so fieldsman on the arm hit the stump, but Neville was clearly in by quite a bit. So, Crive, you can feel the tension here. You see that both teams recognize this is a very critical junction. I think police recognize no more wickets can be lost. Freetown is saying we need more wickets. And so it's really who wants it the most, I think, will come out the victor here right now.
Again, John, I'm very, very disappointed in the effort by the men from Freetown. You're playing at home. And you must feel that you're in with a chance playing at home, and it doesn't matter what the circumstances are. All right, I see Shadrach whispering something to you. He must be saying something to you that definitely will not interest me. All right, he's signaling something about championship. Anyway, be that as it may, or as it may be.
To our viewers and listeners, we have Shadrach Senior right next to us here, so he is offering a little bit of comment to us from time to time. So that's not Shadrach Jr., who is still in the pavilion waiting for his time at the crease. Another wide delivery there by Phillip. Score after this over. Can I get the bowling figures for Gerald Phillip, because he has been bowling a marathon spell. That's over. Turned into the gap for another single.
John, I've lost another bet. Nichols has scored 10 runs.
Well,
of course, I'm going to admit no, because we must take a look at the scorecard to see whether or not some wides and leg byes were not added to his total.
I'm not going down that road with you, sir. We want to say good afternoon to Marsha Chatham. Freetown, let's go. Police going packing. So more support for the Freetown team here. And Les Roy Joe is saying, Freetown, let's go. All right, so quite a bit of support from our social media team for the Freetown team. So it's Africa, the captain, on strike here. He'd want to take this home for his team, while Gerald Phillip would have other ideas. And so another over is completed at the end of over number 19 in pursuit of 116. It's 79 for 4. So Crive another 37 runs needed there in 16 overs. So the required run rate is 2.31. The current run rate is 4.16. And yes, Neville Nichols, he's on 10. And Linton Africa, he's on 2 not out.
I'm very, very disappointed, and I'm being consoled by the score. Not that I don't like it, but I mean, a moral victory for the support team of the policemen sitting in the pavilion. I don't know that Freetown could not have put forward a better effort defending 117 runs. I'm very, very disappointed. I think that they literally gave up on the game
But it sounds to me, Cruyff, that you have given up now. It seems like you have thrown the towel in.
Well, I don't know how you made the decision that I was cheering. I was cheering the Freetown team.
Well, you said it. I didn't have to make a decision. You told me.
I don't know.
You told it to our wide
and why would you,
audience.
John? Why would you be so proud in announcing my alliance with the football team when you're afraid? You're afraid to say that you're backing the men from the police.
That could have been a chance of a run out, and I again will refute that suggestion and that comment, Cruyff. I am not in support of any team out there. I just want to see a good game of cricket and just be the best team.
No, John, win. At the end of it, no?
No, sir, at all times.
All right.
You have a right to your opinion, Cruyff, not a right to your own facts.
All right, John. You're being overly philosophical with what I will say to you. I cannot dismiss what happened last week in Liberta when you were cheering the policemen on, only to be. I mean, they were eaten alive by the men from Liberta.
Ooh, that was a near chance there. That was a looping full toss. Africa had to wait, and then he finally tried to help it along the leg side. There was a man just a little backward there, and he had to dive to his right, but he was unable to. And not certain if he got any fingertips to it, but no chance there. So 1 run.
That effort was more for TV, John, than anything else.
That is wide signal. Almost a stomping chance there. I'd be interested to know the wides also. I want to believe that Freetown has bowled quite a lot of extras, and I think that also could contribute to the position that they found themselves in at the moment.
I mean, are you convinced now that there's a comedy of errors out there? Because the bowler is actually bowling lollipops.
I think what we're seeing here, Cruyff, we say it a lot in our cricket. They're trying to buy a wicket. That's the only suggestion we could take with seeing the bowling of Vance Nathaniel at this critical stage of the game. But however, it is 20 overs in the bag, 83 for 4. So another 33 runs needed or so.
Even you applying your mathematical inference. How could it be that the score is 83? You had 83. You had 17 and 17, or 17 and 16 is 33. All right, John. For once, you have been correct. But I'm saying to you that still the win prediction not being 85%. Not being 85%. I'm still not impressed.
Cruyff, you seem to be in a very delusional state, not recognizing what is in front of you. So Wesley Williams, so I assume Jarrell has completed his allotment of overs. Can I get his bowling figures there quickly? 7 overs, 1 maiden, 23 runs, 4 wicket. So a real good spell there, Cruyff, by Jarrell Phillip again. Really helping his team, keeping them in this game. But his contribution, at least with the ball, is now over. So it's Williams, and here is Nichols walking into line and coming immaculately forward. Just about 3-4 steps, and this one again is just right, wicket to wicket. If the batsman
if we were able to interview the producer on a scale of 1 to 10, I would want
a drop catch there. Whoa. So a chance go begging. Oh my. Straight to, let me see if I can find out who that fieldsman is there. Number 18, Phillip. Oh my. Just had it said he just finished his contribution with the ball, but he could have taken a catch there. So is that the opportunity that the Freetown guys were looking, Cruyff?
I mean, are you listening to the instructions? Huh?
Take your time.
I would want to interview the producer. That is from 23 to now he's 45. 23, Nichols is now 45. Mark had a look at Nichols at 23. Right?
Go ahead.
23. So in the 21 years since you last saw him as a student, Mark, would you agree that Nichols has not improved by 2%? If he answers that in the affirmative,
I'm going to suggest to the producer that he does not answer that question.
you don't want him to incriminate himself?
No, sir. Don't incriminate himself.
If really gonna get locked up?
No, sir. It's not about. But I think what we want
Mark
to
is one of
focus.
the most upstanding citizens in Antigua. So, yeah, I mean, it's to suggest that Mark is not going to speak the truth. Okay? It's saying to me that Freetown is going to win this game by 35 runs.
I would never.
Which is
I
impossible.
would never say that the producer would not speak the truth. But
Okay.
I think what we should really focus on is the contribution that he. Oh, that's hit hard, and luckily for the bowler, that really just went over his head. I think if that was straight at him, that would have caused some damage.
I would agree with you. He did put up his hand after the ball was gone, like 3-4 seconds.
Yeah.
John, but the game is literally at an anticlimax. Vance Lollipop Nathaniel. That one being allowed to go.
That's driven in the air. The chance for a catch, and again another missed chance. I'm afraid the Freetown team, they have been given. And is that Philip again? No, that's not Philip. That's
No. I'm gonna go to the replay and I'm gonna look at the approach to catching that ball. How do you put your right hand to a ball that is clearly going to your left hand? I mean, comedy of errors.
it looked like got a bit tied up. Really, maybe even jumping off of the wrong foot. But
John, you had to go against me. I'm saying to you that the ball is clearly going to his left hand. How do you put your right hand? Of course you're going to be tied up. Those are the fundamental things that you learn. And I'm talking about.
That's lovely inside out. And does it have the leg to make the boundary? No. Baltimore comes around and limited to 2 runs. So I think this experiment has to come to an end. It's definitely not working for the Freetown team. And I think they must come. I think even Baltimore. I think Baltimore has a few overs left. He has to try to get that breakthrough for his team. So it would be wise for them to look in a different direction. So after 22 overs, we have 88 for 4, exactly 4 runs and over. The required run rate 2.15. The not-out batsman Neville Nichols, he's on 13, and Linton Africa, he's on 6 not out. And let's just remind our viewers, you're watching us live on the Parish League Network. You're watching us on our YouTube channel, our Facebook page, Antigua Parish League. And we want to say thank you for watching, supporting us. And we also want to recognize our platinum sponsor, ACB Caribbean, for simple, smarter banking. All of your banking and financial needs, be sure to check them out there at ACB Caribbean at a range of locations right across Antigua and Barbuda. So, Clive, the battle continues, I should say, with Williams coming over the wicket from the pavilion end.
Yes,
that's close.
Yes,
that's close. That's close. And he is given out. And so another wicket goes. Nichols goes LBW playing across the line. And his contribution is 13.
John, John, again, John, John, I'm being chastised, I'm being harassed. I think that is about time that I report to Shadrach that I'm being harassed. This is harassment. This is harassment by one of you. But I'm just saying, Mr. Shadrach, that I'm being harassed by two of the ladies here who are clearly. What is that? Of all the, what is that? What is that? Nichols is out for 14, 13?
13, I think it is.
13. He could have been out at 9. He could have been out at 8. He could have been out at 7, and he could have been out at 6. That's 4 chances put together. And now I'm being chastised by suggesting that was a very, very poor selection in terms of the shot that he played. Very, very poor selection.
Well, it was. It really was not called for. He could have continued playing straight, but he felt he had to play it. Well, it's Vincent Shadrach.
But he was
Junior.
To be out. He was going to be out.
A couple of years ago, I know
he was
was
at 7. He was dropped at 6. How many chances do you get in a game? Okay. I have to concede that I feel on him for John, while Nichols helped somebody to win a bet, because I said that his minimum contribution would have been 10, and he was able to get to 13 before he actually got out. So I have to concede that I lost yet another bet foolishly, because I should not have been betting with the kind of fieldsmen that the men from Freetown has.
I think this is an opportunity for Freetown to apply a little pressure. I think they need to get another man around the bat somewhere in the eyesight of Shadrach. You need to get him thinking. You don't want him to just be pushing forward comfortably.
All right, so should they lose another wicket here?
So that looks like a wicket maiden. A wicket maiden over there. Yep, so the screws being tightened there a bit. 88 for 5. We've just completed 23 overs, so another, what's that? Another 29 runs needed. 28 runs needed. So
did Richie bowl himself out? He doesn't. Richie has 2 more overs. What sense does it make, unless you have given up on getting and you've exposed the soft underbelly of the police team. Clearly the middle is brittle, because if they're able to get Africa or Shadrach out, that's it. We can pack up, go home, make our beds and go to sleep. Why John, this is, look at that.
It's strange to understand, and why they would have persisted. I could understand maybe initially you're saying, hey, let's see if we could buy a wicket, but it's obvious that it's not working. Yes, he did create a chance, I think, in one of his overs, but generally he has not really caused any trouble. The batsmen have been able to watch him, and I think somebody needs to speak to the captain. And Austin is the captain, right? Baltimore. Oh, so Keith. Keith needs to take control, but let's see if it works. We will say it's a great decision. Oh my, that was.
John, there's absolutely no reason why this game should not have been in the bag for the policemen. Absolutely no reason. I don't know what it is.
This one again is inside out. Is it a chance? It's going to be. No, it's just dropping short. And so a single again.
They're, the lawmen, they're receiving instructions from the.
This one is going to be just dropping short again. So it's getting It's a bit iffy here. It's a bit iffy. It's a bit iffy here. Some guidance coming from the scorers.
Yes.
Asking the batsman to be a bit more positive in their running. The game is a bit in a very tense situation.
There is an exposure of the nerves. Yes.
But look at this. Look at this. And I'm trying to figure out the thinking. This quality of this bowling. Why would Africa or the batsman decide to play a reverse sweep when you can just stand tall, put your foot forward, take a step out, and get to the pitch of delivery? No, but that is just anyway.
It's called being influenced by television, visual aid. All right, there are people who watch games on iPads and laptops and all the other
Gadgets.
devices, and you see very often on TV men that can actually play the game, men that can actually bat, who have practiced in the net for hours to play those kinds of shots. You're being influenced by visual aids. But let me go back to the game. I'm extremely disappointed that Freetown would have used this elementary approach. The game is in the balance. You've exposed the weakness in the men from Freetown. They're
Police.
soft. Yeah. Police. Yes. The weakness in the middle. And now that you had an opportunity to exploit that weakness, I mean, you've literally given up. The only thing left for them to do is to just, give the ball to the umpire and tell them that the game is over.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised. But just going back to a little point discussion you had made about, watching the TV. I can't remember who I did the show with. We did a show, and, the person was suggesting if we're going to get our youngsters really to develop, we're going to have to cut them off from watching the highlights of a lot of these games. Because when you watch the highlights, you tend to see, the highlight, the moments of the game, but you don't see the effort that is put in. And so, as you said, just watching Africa playing that reverse sweep, as you said, probably something he would have seen on TV. And he felt he could emulate it, and but just wasn't warranted. And for that type of bowling, really, if he was out, I mean, I would probably bring him in front of the commissioner and charge him for treason.
It's a bit heavy-handed, but I'm not hearing anything from I'm not seeing that you're getting any support from the police women.
Well, Africa, he's still out there fighting with Shadrach Jr. Another observation, Crive. Just about maybe 4, 5, 6 years ago, I think Shadrach was drafted into the Antigua setup as one of the pace bowlers, and now
Shadrach Senior? Oh, that must have been many moons ago.
Shadrach Jr., Vincent Shadrach Jr., and now I see he's playing primarily as a batsman. And here he goes, aerial. Is it wide of the man? Yes, it's wide of the man. Won't reach to the boundary, but Africa has no interest in that second run there.
But his father was of decent. Nothing special, because that was my lunch and dinner.
That's what. Go again. Repeat again. I'll give you a chance to repeat.
Shadrach Senior was my lunch and my dinner. And if I wanted dessert, he would have made himself available. That's what I said. Shadrach Senior was my lunch, my dinner, and I had some left over for dessert.
We're going to get right back to that at the end of over number 25. In pursuit of 116, the scoreline is 97 for 5. We have Vincent Shadrach Jr., he's on 4, not out, and we also have Linton Africa, he's on 11. Required run rate 1.9, a further 19 runs needed. Well, I'm going to stand up for Vincent Shadrach Senior. He doesn't have the mic
against me, John.
He doesn't have the mic, and he's replying to you that he has gotten your wicket many a times.
Well, I have said.
Are
to
you disputing that, Clive?
I am not going to. I'm going to.
Okay, you're not going to dispute that.
I'm going to answer your question with a very, very simple explanation. There were many, many battles, and most of them I won. So, do I need to elucidate on my exploit? I'm not good at speaking about myself. I allow other people to talk about me. But clearly, Shadrach would not be talking glowingly about me because I mean. It was not pleasant.
He felt your hand already.
No, yeah. It was not always pleasant. Good all-rounder, good lively all-rounder. Played his cricket hard. We had many, many battles. And he has still remained a good friend of mine. I've made enemies in this game.
Was that due to your brutality?
My brutality, yes.
Well, Baltimore has decided there's a time now to come back on.
No.
And he is there. He's now coming from the Harmony Hall end. Well, Lesoy Drew, they did listen to you. He was saying time to take Nathaniel off the bowling, and they have such done that. And this one is helped along to the onside, and so a much welcome boundary for the lawmen, and so the target now reduces to 15 more to get, so it's looking closer and closer. Where's the win predominator now? 5. Where are we? Talk to me. Okay, Cruyff is speechless at the moment, so let's give him some time to catch his breath.
No, the win predictor is clearly in favor of the and for me, I was not impressed with the attitude, the effort put in by the policemen.
That's a little extra zip there off of the pitch there. Baltimore probably just bending his back for that last delivery and just beating the outside edge of Shadrach Jr. And so another over is in the bag. Overs are not really important at this moment. 26 overs completed, 101 for 5. So a further 15 runs to win. So the countdown is on. So let's see who. So it's going to be Williams will continue.
Well, the policemen should be in a celebratory mood. John, I'm not impressed with the effort by Freetown. It looks as if Freetown had a title to give, a trophy to give away. Even with the small total, a better effort would have produced a very, very different result. And I mean, the game could have been closer. Of course, there were a few chances that went to begging. Not at critical junctures of the game, because I think those chances, if we had to be honest, were given just about when Freetown had given up all hopes.
I think also another component they would look back at too. Well, definitely they have to look at the batting. The batting just was not up to par. I don't think 115 runs, and I think you agreed also was really enough. I think we agreed 20, 30 runs more could have made it. And this one is a chance. This is it a chance? No, it's a clear big hit there. I thought that was going more up in the air, and I'm being admonished by Shadrach Senior that he didn't feed his son on Wheaties. He freed, and so that was a big hit there. Cruyff clearing the long off boundary for 6 runs.
What can I say? The mouth has gotten, the voices have gotten louder. I'm being consoled again by the female scorer, as if I'm not going to sleep tonight. But let me say this to you. Again, it was a very, very poor effort on the part of the men from Freetown. This game would have been very, very different if the approach was different. Poor captaincy. I don't know that Baltimore could be a useful captain at this level of the game. But again, like I can't even say that it was a good game of cricket. It was pretty much one-sided. Pretty much one-sided from the beginning with the loss of Austin Richards Jr.
So at the end of over number 27, 109 for 5, 109 for 5. And Vincent Shadrack Jr., he's on 15 not out, and Linden Africa on 12, partnership of 21. So 7 more to capture this Richardson 35 over championship. And so police definitely would be smelling and feeling that sense of victory. And they are defending champions and just being reminded that they are retaining, I should say, their championship. So Austin Richards Jr. looks like he's now back into attack. Maybe a little bit too late, Clive.
Just absolute nonsense, rubbish. If I knew that I was going to see Austin Richards back into the attack before the end of this game, I would have clearly put my bet on the possibility that he was done for the day. And here it is that he's been reintroduced into the attack with 7 runs to go.
This one is chipped, and there's Africa coming down and chance for a run out. But probably Africa didn't recognize that Baltimore was a bit straight. Was a lot straighter than he anticipated, so he thought it was in the gap, but it was a quick call by Shadrack Jr. telling him no, so he was able to get back without any damage. Dead ball signal there by.
If you're grooming a youngster, John, to take up the challenge of being captain of a team, there has to be some kind of guidance. It cannot be a free hand to do foolishness. And in my view, clearly, even with the bowler taking 3 wickets, the pick of the bowlers was clearly Austin Richards Jr. So why would you bring Austin Richards Jr. back into the attack when you've handed police the game? Clearly nonsense.
Yeah, Jarrell bowled well, and I felt after Jarrell, both Baltimore and Austin Richards Jr. should have come back into the attack to keep the pressure on, try to take wickets. Yes. You had to take wickets. Yes. You can't depend on the overs running out, and it's only had a bad bounce there.
I just
So coming down to the end slowly, and this one is on the onside, a tight over. This looks like a maiden over if I'm not mistaken. So definitely the Freetown team, they're not giving up. They're still fighting, but I'm afraid they'll need wickets to really make a difference. So 28 overs in the bag, 7 more overs left, 7 runs left, exactly 1 run and over needed, 109 for 5, really. So let's see now, is Baltimore going to switch in and come from the... Looks like Baltimore now is going to switch in and come from the pavilion end. This is where he started from. And this should have been the bowling attack when Philip would have done his damage. These two should have been bowling in tandem and trying to take those last, trying to get some more breakthrough and see if they could make further inroads into the police team. Well, it looks like now they're trying to cut the single off. A very tight field. Everybody's in the circle. This one is driven, not with any real power or timing, but into a gap there and getting a single. So 6 more runs needed. So, Clive, the countdown is on. It's the final countdown.
John, please don't give up your day job. You're probably starved. But again, I don't know why you're impressed with this victory, because this victory was actually given to the men from police with the lack of effort. I don't understand. They're not even celebrating. You've got two beautiful females in the pavilion, and they're not even celebrating because they know that it was a gift. It was right. It was a gift before Christmas.
Well, I must say we have to give the we have to give the lawmen credit. You're coming into hostile territory, and you know they've been able to keep their composure.
Can't be very, oh my!
And this one is high. Does it have the legs to clear the man? The man is running back, and good effort, but it goes into the boundary for 4. So good effort there by the youngster. I want to believe that would be Antoine Willock. Yes, he really gave it good chase, but so that's 4 runs. So I'm hearing 2 more to win. 2 more to win. And you could see if the camera could come on Cruyff now, we'd see he has his head hanging. He's looking down.
John, not at all. There were a couple of things that you got.
And this one is still now. So the scores are now level.
There were a couple of things that you got very, very wrong, John. And one was that if you're going to use the word hostility and you're going to attach that to the men from Freetown, you are totally out of order. Totally out of order. And should be reprimanded. And I tell you why. If this was considered a hostile territory, right, there would have been a much better effort. You would have seen instances.
Wide. And that's the end of it. The wide signal. And so congratulations to the lawmen for winning the Sir Richard Richardson 35 overs 2023 champions. And you're hearing the big round of applause coming all around the ground. It was a good game, I would say, and the better team that performed today won. And so for Cruyff, we got to say kudos to the police team for retaining their championship.
Well, John, I will give you my final comments on the game. This was the friendliest environment, the friendliest environment that you could have wanted to play in a finals. In a finals at that. Like I said, the men from Freetown lost the game when Austin Richards was dismissed, because from there on it was just playing just to finish an innings. And if you were entering into hostile territory, you gotta have your game face. And at no time during this contest that I saw where the policemen, where the men from Freetown really thought that they were capable of winning this game. I mean, you have to learn to finish. I mean, it was too easy for the men from police to have won this game. Kudos to them. They stuck to the. I don't even know if there was a plan. They probably got lucky that they were able to bat sensibly in the front part of the innings. But other than that, I cannot understand why the heads of the men from Freetown. I don't understand why their heads are not. I mean, it just makes absolutely no sense. I mean, if you told me that in a final, that this is the kind of effort that you would have seen, I would say absolutely no, because when I played, down to the last ball that had to be bowled or the last run that had to be made, you would have seen a much better effort. I'm extremely surprised, extremely disappointed, and I hope that this is not synonymous with the way that the men from Freetown approach the game.
Well, Cruyff, I think...
and it was nice working with you, John, even though we never agree. I'm not accustomed to being in partnership with a fellow commentator where we never, ever agree on anything. But it was fun, it was great, and we will do it again.
Most definitely. Akash Joseph said first loss of the season came at a bad time, so I guess we could say that the Freetown team ran out of a bit of steam and just at the wrong time. But just going to the scorecard quickly for our viewers and listeners. Jaron Jones, he opened the innings with Malik Gerald. They had a very decent partnership there from the start, really played sensibly, hitting the ball in the gaps. Actually, between the both of them, they only hit one boundary, really. And so, actually, looking through the scorecard now, Clive, quite interesting. We only had 4 boundaries hit in this innings and 1 maximum. So really it was an accumulation of 1s and 2s. But Jaron Jones, he was caught and bowled by Gerard Phillip for 22. Malik Gerald, he was caught. Kelvin Richards bowled Gerard Phillip for 16. Damon Valentine, he was bowled by Gerard Phillip for 10. Neville Nichols, he was LBW, bowled Wesley Williams for 13, and Tariq Prince, he was bowled first delivery by Jared Phillip without scoring. Linton Africa and then Vincent Shadrack Jr. came together, and then they took the score eventually to the winning total. Linton Africa, he was not out on 13, and Vincent Shadrack Jr., he made 20 from 31 balls, hitting 2 4s and 1 6. And Clive, as I said earlier, the extras was 22, joint high score with Jaron James. We had 2 byes, 20 wides, accounting for those extras. Bowling, Keith Baltimore, 4.5 overs, no maiden, 31 wicket, no wicket. Austin Richards Jr., 6 overs, 1 maiden, 19 runs, no wicket. Gerard Phillip, the pick of the bowlers, 7 overs, 1 maiden, 23 runs, 4 wicket. Antoine Willock, 3 overs, 1 maiden, 10 runs, no wicket. Vance Nathaniel, 4 wicket, 4 overs, no maiden, 19 runs, no wicket. Wesley Williams, 4 overs, 2 maiden, 12 runs, 1 wicket. And so again, Clive, I would say it was a good game. We would have wanted to see a little bit more from the Freetown team to have had the game a little bit more competitive, but in the end we got to give Police credit for first of all winning the toss, restricting the Police to 115, and then grafting their way to that final score.
Again, I can't see that the men from Freetown would have been satisfied with the kind of effort, both in the area of the batting and ultimately in the field. There were too many liabilities in the field, and I mean, if you want to see a good game of cricket, it must be an all-round effort. Bat, ball, fielding, and I'm extremely disappointed. There were too many ones that were turned into threes, and I'm talking about when the men from Freetown were on the field. So, I mean, I would not be very proud if I was a member of the Freetown team. I would not be very proud of the effort. But then again, they came out as victors in this encounter, and from me to all of the viewers all around the world, it was a pleasure being in your company. And John, I guess we will do it again.
Well, definitely, my brother. We'll be back. I'm sure we have the Thursday League, which continues, Sir Viv Richards Thursday League, and of course we have the Sir Richie Richardson.
This is
the Sir Richie Richardson.
Right.
So that's finished. So we're going to have the Dave Joseph competition looking to start shortly.
Thanks again for your viewers and listeners for tolerating me. I trust that everyone will enjoy the rest of the day. Goodbye.
All right, so thanks again to my fellow commentator Clive and Bert Eugene, saying congrats. Good to have you on board, Bert. And so on behalf of all of us here from the Parish League team, Taddy Arundel, we had fellow commentators, Clive, we had Colin James, we had Van Roy Burns, all these guys who have played a role. Odwin Pilgrim, our main cameraman. Oh, the police team, they're dancing, enjoying themselves there. So good sights there below for the police team, regaining or retaining their championship, their Sir Richie Richardson 35 over championship. And so on behalf of all of us here from the Parish League Network, we want to wish everyone a good evening, a good weekend, a good week ahead, and reminding everyone to stay safe. And we'll see you again on Thursday, where we'll bring you live coverage of the Sir Viv Richards Thursday League. So, good night.